And the 5-0 Buffalo. James Kidd's got to let it go. And that means Cordell Stewart and the Colorado offense will have to take over at the 20-yard line as we give you the Russell Athletics starting lineups. Rashaan Salaam, we've talked about him. He's the leading scorer in the country coming in to tonight's game, joining Cordell Stewart in what Gary has said is really a two-back set. Ray Caruth back after an ankle sprain, kept him out a week ago with Westbrook, Fourier, and Lepsis. And up front, Heath Irwin. A knee injury, ligament damage against Texas. He's playing through the pain with Birdie, Stoltenberg, Naoli, and Derek West. And it's 1st and 10, Colorado. Opening play of the ball game. Salaam hurdles his way for almost 8 yards. Peters made the tackle defensively for Oklahoma. And the OU defense looks like this up front. Cedric Jones, their lead man, 6 sacks with Lewis and Campbell. Tyrell Peters, a sophomore, is their leading tackler from the linebacking core with Rosenberg, Freeman, and DeQuazy. And in the secondary, there's been a shuffling going on. Backup strong safety Wendell Davis starts for Larry Bush on the corner with Johnson, Henderson, and Anthony Fogle. And it's 2nd down and a long to Colorado. Opening drive of the ball game. Salaam's got a 1st down, and he's got about 3 more. Out to the 33-yard line goes Rashaan before Mario Freeman and Tyrell Peters can make the stop. There's his numbers on the season. A very impressive 179 per game.
Brad, talking with Rashaan Salaam and just watching him play football, you can really come to appreciate how balanced and the entire package that he has, the way he blocks, the way he runs, and the way he receives. That's why he's so valuable to the football team.
So a 1st down, 1 minute into the action. Colorado from the 33-yard line. Nice play fake by Stewart and fires it out. Complete. Ray Caruth paid the price on the corner as Darius Johnson came up and got him low, and the cartwheel landed him right about at the line of scrimmage. Johnson, the junior, out of Terrell, Texas. One of the best cover men in that secondary for the Sooners.
Talking to defensive coordinator Tom Hayes from Oklahoma, he said the key to the game for Oklahoma on defense is not to allow Colorado to run between the tight ends. Last year they pushed Oklahoma up and down the field. He said if they're successful running inside the tight ends, we're in trouble.
And remember, that's a 2 tight end situation at all times. 2nd down, 7. Outside goes Salaam, puts his head into Wendell Davis and carries him out of bounds into the Colorado bench as he got it across the 40-yard line. Going to be short of a 1st down by a couple.
What's tough about this balanced offense for Colorado with 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, is it forces the defense to commit one of their secondary people to either one side of the formation or the other. There's no strong side of the formation. So Cordell Stewart is able to go up there, run a check with me offense, and either run it right or left away from the defensive strength.
Colorado great on 3rd down, almost 51% as you saw. 3rd and 3 here from their own 40-yard line. Michael Westbrook in motion. Stewart looks to Westbrook. Got it. 1st down, Colorado at the 47-yard line. Michael Westbrook, no doubt an All-American candidate as a wide receiver. A couple years ago, 1,000-plus season.
Just a simple curl route. When you get Michael Westbrook, he's such a big receiver out there. Look, that's well covered by the Oklahoma secondary. But I can guarantee you that when Cordell throws a curl like that, that ball is not in the air a half a second. He can really zip it.
You said to me Westbrook is huge when you get down there.
He is unbelievable.
1st down, Colorado at the 48-yard line. Opening drive, they started at their own 20. Rashaan Salaam. And Rashaan takes it into the OU end at the 48. Campbell made the stop defensively for the Sooners.
One unique part of this offense also is the depth of the guards for Colorado and what they're required to do because of that depth. You'll see Colorado's guards here very deep lined up. What they do is come around because of that depth and pick off linebackers. This time, Naoli comes around, picks off the inside linebacker, Mario Freeman, that time, and you'll look at that all night. The guards are really, Brad, deeper than the quarterback in the alignment.
They sure are. Got around for 4 yards. 2nd down and 6, 7th play of the Buffaloes drive. Stewart, nice play fake. Going to go to his safety valve, and it's a tight end, and he's rumbling. Lepsis, first down, lost the ball, but it goes out of bounds. Lepsis really took a shot at about the 36-yard line from Peters, and he's still down. Big hit by Tyrell Peters, the guy I talked about, who's their leading tackler, just a sophomore.
A true sophomore also, freshman All-American last year. And that's really the key for Oklahoma in this game. If they could force a couple turnovers, Colorado has done a good job of not turning the ball over in their own end this season, and Oklahoma needs a couple stops like that to slow down the offense. Cordell Stewart faking to Slam on this play, looks downfield, doesn't have it, and then he knows he has a drop-off to the outside. That's the patience I think Cordell Stewart has brought to his game in 1994 that he didn't have a year ago.
Here's the hit at the end against the huge tight end. Right there, that one right in the kidneys, below the 8s to Matt Lepsis, the sophomore out of Frisco, Texas, and he is still face down. 6'5", 250-pounder, and the perfect book-in tight end for Christian Fourier on the other side. So an injury with 11:55 to go first quarter.
Washington State, Antoine Carter.
First big third down.
Why did they move the goalpost during the delay of game?
At the 32, it's 3rd and 5. 10th play of this opening march for the Buffaloes. Stewart with plenty of time again. Loads it and goes. Incomplete. Intended for Westbrook. He had a couple guys out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he might have been throwing that to Fourier coming up the sideline, but Westbrook has such nice range, kind of goes for the ball, and you have to do that. You see him right there go to Christian, say, hey, I'm sorry, I thought that was for me.
So it's going to bring out the field goal unit.
That's a big stop for this Oklahoma football team early in this football game.
Neil Voskerichi in his season long is 48. They're going to ask for a 49-yarder if he can hit it here. Anderson to hold. And it's no chance. Way left. And Oklahoma sees Colorado take it really down the field. His stats are improving as a thrower, though. Allen Moore and Frazier join him in the bone when it's in there. P.J. Mills had the only touchdown last year against Colorado. Hall and Alexander join him. And J.R. Conrad, 2 years ago, a center. Last year, a left tackle, now a right tackle with Overton, Langston, Cavill, and Stamps. And the first play is Gerald Moore, the fullback that Gary talked about, who's going to be an important cog in this Sooner offense. Shannon Clavel leads this club in tackles for loss with Hicks and Holland up front. Ted Johnson leads the club in tackles. He's the man the wishbone will have to account for. Russell, Jones, and Phillips round out the linebacking core. And Donnell Leomides become a big play man in the secondary. The strong safety had an interception return for a touchdown last week. Razga is the other safety. For Simmons and Hudson on the corners. And this time, Ted Johnson and company are there to make the play.
Watson Brown told me one of the key changes for his offense in this game to run the fullback was to go wide splits. Look at the spacing in here between the Oklahoma offensive linemen. They want to spread that Colorado defense out and force the defenders to take a side and try to crease it with the fullback.
They'll stay with the I backfield now with 2 wide receivers on a 3rd down and 5. McGee with pressure. Lofts it out and too far out in front for P.J. Mills. And the Colorado defense came up big on the opening series.
2-man pass route, plenty of protection, both running backs to the left side. But Ted Johnson kind of reads the play from the inside and just shoots the gap, and that forced McGee to throw the ball before he really wanted to. But on the other hand, Brad, there really wasn't anybody open on that play. It was a good throwaway.
Tim Daughtry now in as the punter for Oklahoma. 10 men up for Colorado. Trying to put a little pressure on him, and he kicks this one high and off the side of his foot. It did take a decent bounce right near the sideline, but it'll be Colorado at their own 33 on offense when we come back. On the option is Cordell Stewart. The pitch to Salam, it's loose. Scooped up by Ray Caruth, who slides out of bounds way back at the 25-yard line.
The relationship between Salam and Cordell Stewart that time was too close. Stewart had to bow out a little bit, and you'll see that Salam was about 3 yards from him. He needs to be about 4.5 yards. When he pitched out, it's surprised, and you can see it off his left shoulder of Salam. A bad pitch by Stewart, but I don't think he was quite sure of where Salam was for the pitch.
So it forces a long yardage situation for the first time for Colorado. 2nd down and 18. Off play action is Stewart. A man in his face as he completes it back near the 30-yard line to Lepsis, who's been his favorite receiver so far. 3 catches for Lepsis. What that might mean, though, is nobody else is getting open.
Well, I think what you'll see Oklahoma do in this football game is take away the weapons from Cordell Stewart and make him throw to guys he's uncomfortable throwing the ball to. He likes to go to Westbrook. He likes to go to Fourier. He likes to go to Rashaan Salam. So just like in basketball, you make him go to this left hand.
Yep.
Colorado's doing a good job. Oklahoma, excuse me, is doing a good job of forcing Cordell Stewart to throw to people he's not used to throwing, and it's working so far.
Cordell Stewart leading the Big 8 with that 65%. And they're going to need all of that and then some here. 3rd down and 13, Colorado. Going to load it and air it for Westbrook. He's out there, and he couldn't hold it, but a flag flies in. Darius Johnson may have bumped him right as the ball arrived.
Well, Darius Johnson was riding his back on that play. When you have 3rd and 14 for a secondary, you always are anticipating that receiver curling up for the first down. This time, Elliot Uzelak, the coordinator, said, we're just going to go long and test him. You'll see Michael Westbrook. They're going to try to bracket him inside out, but to the outside, Darius Johnson, number 42, knows he's beat.
On the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
That is a good call. You'll see his right hand grab Westbrook's right hand. Westbrook almost comes up with an acrobatic catch, but actually it's a pretty good play by Johnson because he was beat. And in college football, it is only a 15-yard penalty instead of the point of the spot of the foul.
What it does give, though, is Colorado a first down at the 45-yard line. Westbrook involved in huge plays this year already, of course. The catch against Michigan. The catch preceding that one, and then the catch that set up the last-second field goal to beat Texas. Play fake. Cordell Stewart went right by the outside linebacker and flipped it out to Fourier, his other tight end. And Fourier's got another Colorado first down and a pickup of 11 as he's run out of bounds. And will run it out of bounds to Mike Tirico. Mike?
Brad, Southern Cal trying to get to 3-1, second place alone in the Pac-10. Rob Johnson's out. Sean Walters is not. Turns the corner, gonna go the distance, 61 yards. The Trojans at the farm lead Stanford by 14.
Nice tightrope job down the sideline. No score here. 7:47 to go, first quarter. Salam found an opening, a big one. He could score. Run down at the 9-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle by Anthony Fogle, but 36 yards for Rashaan Salam.
Did you see this guy accelerate when he saw the opening on that play? He had a crack, and he was through it. You don't see many backs take a play like that and just gash it right here. Good blocking on the front side. Lepsis gets the down block. The guard comes around and fits on the inside linebacker, Freeman. Boom, there's the crack, and he's into the secondary. Track meet to the end zone, and Fogel's very fortunate just to kind of hog tie him from behind, or that would have been a scoreboard changer. Wow.
Got it all the way to the 7-yard line. First and goal, Colorado. Salam the other way. Inside for the touchdown. He got him close, and then he got him in. 6-0 Buffalo. Neil Voskerichian in for the point after.
Not many teams with as many weapons as Colorado is featuring in this year's version of their offense. Power and speed and throw the ball all out of the same backfield in the same formation. What a combination.
Salam already with 67 yards on 7 carries. Trying to get point number 7, Voskerichian, but we've got flags down on the play. Voskerichian from 5 yards deeper. Still has the extra point up and good. 7 minutes and 34. 84-3 against Northeast Louisiana. You slice it the next week. That's his worst game. 4 touchdowns against Wisconsin. 85 on the ground. Then 141-2 against Michigan. He told us yesterday he's pretty proud of that one. Then came 317, the most Texas has ever allowed, and a touchdown. And against Missouri, 166-2. Just a normal week. Tonight, 67 yards, 7 carries, and a touchdown. Pretty good ingredients for the sandwich.
And you don't need much else to go on that sandwich to make it work. You know, you just put the salami on, you're done.
And there's no hot dog in him either. Voskerichian to kick. Mills and Frazier back deep. P.J. Mills from the 5. Oh, he got swarmed under in a hurry. Down there was London Henry. And Oklahoma will start at about the 17-yard line. Oklahoma has not been happy all year long with their special teams. In particular, their kick return units. They have struggled. And it's been part of the reason they haven't scored any points so far this season in the first quarter. The second quarter is a different story, but they have not gotten off to a good start.
But that's not a good sign playing against Colorado with a slow start.
And as you said, that means you never lead in the first quarter.
No, you can't lead when you don't score.
Garrett McGee, off play action, got some pressure, and he's in trouble. Got what he could, and it's not back to the line of scrimmage, though. Ted Johnson and Greg Jones, the linebackers, are coming in from the outside, and Clavel from the middle. It's a loss of 1.
One of the problems when you're trying to find a running game, which offensive coordinator Watson Brown is trying to find for Gary Gibbs, is that you try to do a lot of different things. They're running a little bit of bone, a little bit of eye, a little bit of pass offense from 3 wide receivers. Consequently, I don't know if you do any of them that well. And passing is the first to suffer.
And Watson Brown has said maybe it's too much for his quarterback to absorb. They've tried to simplify it. There's a flag now as McGee goes down the 20-yard line.
What Coach Hankwitz has done now has closed everybody down inside and getting great pressure on the quarterback, as you can see right there. Everyone is shooting inside them.
Exactly what happened. And McGee had to throw a jump pass from the end zone incomplete.
If you notice all the great passing teams, either in college football or in the NFL, you'll see real tight line splits. It's tough to block a pass protection from an island. And really, each offensive lineman is on an island this time. A little bit of a screen pass, but Ted Johnson is all over that play. Throwing it to Allen, that was his man, and he was right in position.
And Ted Johnson's been all over the field already in the first quarter. It is 3rd down and 16. 6:36 remaining first quarter. McGee fires outside, completes it, but not even back to the original line of scrimmage is P.J. Mills. And it is 3 and out again for the Sooners. And now they're going to be punting near their own end zone.
Talking to Colorado defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz, he said, we are on the verge of being a great defensive football team. All we need is a little more consistency, and he thinks that he can be as good as any Colorado defensive team he's ever coached here.
Tim Daughtry made his first appearance in a Sooner uniform last week. I don't know if he likes his spot right now from his own 1-yard line to punt, but he did get a nice high kick. Chris Hudson waits on it and takes it. Gutsy move by Hudson. He's a great punt returner, though, and he's got a wall down the sideline. Chris Hudson lost the ball, but he's got it 1st and goal, Colorado.
No,
Oklahoma got it before it went out of bounds.
People who tell you when do turnovers occur. Most turnovers occur when the presence of a big play is happening for the offense. Chris Hudson runs a punt return as good as you can run one. But right as he's going in, stripped from behind, Colorado turns the ball over, and this is a dream turnover for Oklahoma. You'll see it. He thinks he's going in from the backside. I think it's Wendell Davis, the corner, coming from the backside, gets the play, and the ball stays in bounds. A huge turnover for the Oklahoma football team, who looked to be a little bit snake bit.
tremendous recovery before it went out of bounds. The bad news for the Sooners, they worked from inside their own 5. They're still inside their own 5. James Allen going nowhere. Russell made the tackle on Frazier. And Darius Holland doing a dance up front.
Well, Darius Holland made the tackle that time, but Frazier did not really find the hole that time. He had it outside if he would have stayed with it.
Defensive coordinator Mike Hankwitz. Gary talked about a couple of plays ago. Put together a pretty impressive defensive group. Terrence Brown is in at quarterback. He is the true option quarterback of the 2 for Oklahoma, but he's in a tough spot. Motion had appeared before the snap out of the wishbone.
Out of sync.
5:01 to go, first quarter. Inside the 2-yard line, second down and 12. From the bone, Moore the fullback, and he only got it to about the 4.5. What little opening there was closed in a hurry, and that'll be third down and about 11.
Brad, I thought this was the second time in a row Oklahoma running back had room to the outside. Look to see if there wasn't room to the outside and Moore just be a little bit more patient with it. To the outside, if he could have came, he had it inside the tackle and the other running back blocking there. He just kind of gave up on the play before he did it.
Harry Stamps, his left tackle, was trying to block down for him and open an avenue. As it is, third down and a long 10, almost 11. With 4:20 left, first quarter. Brown, the quarterback, slips and goes down at the 5. Matt Russell helped him slip. The inside linebacker. And now the punting situation becomes even more intense for Tim Daughtry because he's going to be backed up to his own end line.
Yeah, and bad news is you got to give it back to Chris Hudson.
Hudson had 3 great returns in the win over Wisconsin when we were here 3 weeks ago. Daughtry's got to get rid of it in a hurry and does. Hudson runs up on this one at the 44. Got around the first man and goes down at the 41-yard line. Gives us time to check in with Mike Tirico. Mike, 41. Nice tackle that time by Tyrell Peters, who put a hat on Salam. Very short gain, if any.
What he did a nice job that time is dodging the offensive guard. He didn't take him on strong. He kind of gave him a little ole around the side. Guard comes out. He's going to miss the guard right there. Comes in and makes heads-up tackle on Salam. Chris Naole, number 65, kind of went low. Peters just a little bit too quick for that type of block.
Got to give the OU defense a little bit of credit for having to be out there the whole quarter. Been out there all but about 9 snaps. Salam again broke through, found a first down. Rashawn goes inside the 30 to the 29. Roderick Simpson, the tackle, but Salam with 11 more yards.
Brad, I think one of the great additions that Bill McCartney made to his staff was when he brought Elliot Uzelak, offensive coordinator, into this team. Worked with him at Michigan before, came in here. He's one of those guys. I don't know. You want me to take a shot? It looks like this guy here.
Right over one more. There you go with the glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Stewart trying to throw back to the other side, and Westbrook, they might have had 2 guys in the same area again in Fourier and Westbrook, incomplete.
What I think Elliot Uzelak brought to this football team was toughness. Bill McCartney changed his offense from an option to a passing attack. But I think what Elliot did, here you go, Elliot, got you on TV. Now we can see your first face right there. But it came in with a little bit of more toughness from that offensive line. They're well balanced, but Brad, this is a team that runs the ball 48 times and passes it 24. The mainstay of their game is power on the offensive line.
Second down and 10. That line comes up the 30-yard line. And now Oklahoma getting tough on Salam. Peters again in there, along with Sterling Lucky, the outside linebacker, to make the hit.
Yeah, I think you got to give a lot of credit to the Oklahoma defense because they have hung in this football game. Peters and Freeman have been making a lot of stops. Just that one big crease by Salam has been the only big play they've given up. There you see Tom Hayes, defensive coordinator. He's in his 4th year here this year, and he said, Gary, we don't stop from running the ball inside. Don't show a lot of shots in me, please.
Well, his team's trying to hang in on a 3rd down and 9 against a very explosive offensive group in Colorado. Fourier, the tight end, in motion. Both receivers to the left. Westbrook wanted to go that way, and now he's pressured. He comes out of there with it. Stewart dives, down. He might have gotten a first down at the 19-yard line. I think he did. There's the other dimension, Garrett.
Well, he's averaging 63 yards rushing per game, but he doesn't really want to be known as a scrambling quarterback. Well, it's tough. You'll see number 56, Lucky, come in from the inside, doesn't make the play. Once Cordell Stewart breaks your containment, he's out to the safeties. Henderson and Folk will make the tackle, but not before Stewart picks up a first down. That is so unnerving for a defensive coordinator when you have a good coverage and he breaks containment, makes the first down.
6'3", 210. We talked about the top percentage in the conference, and he runs 4.35. This guy is pretty fast, too. Salam put his hat down on Darius Johnson, won the battle momentarily. And he's readjusted the chin strap because he's got it down very close to another first down for Colorado.
Allow Salam to crease it right up the gut. When you can block the nose tackle with the center, you're going to have a good chance of running the ball between the tackles.
Great inside the 20 is Colorado, as you saw the numbers. We're under a minute. They've got second down at less than a yard. Salam. First down, Colorado. First and goal. Cedric Jones on the stop. Salam closing in on 100 yards already in quarter number one.
Salam will take himself out of the game when he gets tired, but it's not likely he's going to get real tired. Against Texas, he ran for 317 yards, and it was 110 degrees. Now, it's nice out here, but it's not 110 degrees.
First and goal, Colorado. Last time they had it at the 7. Salam took it in from 7. Leon Merritt. Now the up man in an I formation. Salam behind his blockers. Touchdown. The second time tonight. And Rashaan Salam just keeps rolling those sevens. His 7-yard touchdown for the second time this evening.
One of the few formation changes that Colorado gives you is when they get inside the 7-8-yard line, they bring in a blocking back, and still 2 tight ends, but they still give it to number 19.
Oscar Itchian for the point after. Right down the middle. It's a Rashaan Salam kind of night so far. 2 touchdowns in the first quarter and 19 seconds left. Well, that's what they'd like to see happen at the end of this season. And Colorado off to a great start against another top 25 club.
Brad, you called it. Leon Merritt is the guy going to block. He's just outside the screener. He's going to come inside and fit on this linebacker. That's what makes the play go. Here he comes, Leon Merritt. He's 240-pound freshman. Fit on the inside linebacker. There's the crease. Salam has the patience to stay with the play. Coming from the other angle, you want to play safety on this one. Naoli comes in, takes one guy. Freeman gets blocked by Merritt. A walk-in.
As you said, playing off the blocks and waiting for that block. The patience of Salam helped him score to cap the 41-yard drive. Gary had that same patience earlier on that long run. He kind of waited, and then another gear.
And that's really what the great backs have. I think that if there's something that Eric Dickerson had, and he was able to glide into the hole and then explode through the hole. And Salam, it's something you really can't teach. Salam has enough confidence in his speed that he can take it to that next gear.
Oscar Itchian to kick, and already Oklahoma in a little bit of trouble because their offense has been able to muster nothing so far in the first quarter. Mills camps under this at the 8. PJ, a hurdle job to get to the 19, and a flag flies in. Pitch to Allen. Allen gets some positive yards. James got it up near the 15-yard line, picked up almost 5. And that will bring quarter number 1 to a close. Penalty marker on the play with 3 seconds left. Start the second quarter. How bad was it for the Sooners in the first quarter? That'll tell you.
Not often, Brad. You're behind 14-0 in the first quarter, and the game's not as close as the score indicates.
McGee to throw from his own end zone. Incomplete. Got it out to Mills, who couldn't hold it.
Well, that was a well-thrown ball, and In a game like this, when you're trying to come out of your own end zone, someone is going to have to make a play for this Colorado football team. McGee put the ball in a catchable position. Mills has to come up with it.
Garrick McGee had a bad game against Texas A&M, but his statistics have improved weekly since. He had almost 200 yards throwing last week and a career-high 57 rushing in the loss to Texas. And Watson Brown admitted that with so many formations, he had to try to simplify things, not just for McGee, but for the rest of the team as well. Not too simple, though, when it's 2nd down and 18 near your own end zone. Flags fly before the snap.
Well, finally, something's good happened for this football team. They drew Hicks off. Looked like he touched the center.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the defense. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Gives him just a little bit more room to work. As they'll spot it out inside the 7-yard line.
Again, Brad, Oklahoma needs to establish the fullback, and I'd love to see Gerald Moore just take that ball, the fullback, and just gash it in there and say, a hole's going to be there. Don't look for it.
Well, he's the up man in the eye, but they're going to throw again. Wide open's the tight end. And a 1st down, Oklahoma. Yeah. Finally, they got something to go positively, and it's Steven Alexander, their freshman.
Yeah, when everything goes bad, go to your freshman.
Yeah. This guy's going to be something special, I think.
6'8" high jumper in high school. He's only about 220 pounds now, but they fake to the tailbacks. Both backers step up. There's Alexander in the slot. Nice throw by McGee, and this guy will be an All-American before he leaves Oklahoma.
Had his first catch against Iowa State. Then he caught 4 for 50 yards last week. And an 18-yarder there as the Sooners work it 1st down at the 24. Their first down. Did his knee go down?
Yes.
I believe so. This play worked against Colorado once last year out of the 4 times they ran it. I think it's a good-looking play, but you've got to keep your footing, and the pitch has to be perfect.
It's a slow developing, but it was going to be a counter play, a misdirection counter play coming back the other way. You'll see it. He catches the ball, and Allen goes down on a slip right there. And, you know, Oklahoma plays on AstroTurf, and this is nothing new here. It seemed like good footing when I was down there before the game. Just tried to start too fast.
2nd down at 16 now. After picking up a 1st down, it goes 6 yards in the negative category. Split backfield now on 2nd down and long for McGee. With time, and now running out of it. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Maybe.
Pile up as the ball loose.
Maybe
Colorado says they have it. They do. Matt Russell.
You know, Brad, when we were here watching Wisconsin get pasted by this football team, you really had the feeling that Wisconsin was having success moving the ball. They just were beating themselves. For Oklahoma in this game, they're not having any success moving it. You can see, gets stripped from behind that time by Shannon Clavell. The ball's loose. That was a good call, and McGee turns it over on a play where he didn't have anybody to throw the ball to. He was just trying to get something out of nothing.
Matt Russell with a big play. 2nd-team freshman All-American last year with the turnover, and it sets Colorado up at the Sooner 18-yard line. Remember what we talked about when they're inside the 20. They're tough. Stewart, though, is going to go down for a loss. Tyrell Peters. And you can see why he leads the club in tackles. He's all over the field so far, working hard, and Cordell Stewart gives him a pat on the hat.
Well, I don't think you can fault this Oklahoma defense. I mean, they played well. There's not a lot of people that are going to slow down the Colorado offense. Oklahoma just has to do a couple 1st downs at least and gain some calmness on their offensive football team. Freeman and Peters are playing outstanding football games.
Westbrook. James Kidd, the wideouts. 2nd down along 11. Salam, though, inside, and Rashaan Salam slices his way inside the 10-yard line. He's going to be close to a 1st down.
That time he broke right behind Martin Chase, number 93, the nose tackle. What great vision he has from the tailback position. He's awful deep in this situation. Here's the tailback. Watch him break behind the nose tackle, which all great tailbacks do in this play. Chase is there. He's got the tackle. Boom. Cutback block. That play could have run anywhere from the left tight end all the way to behind the nose tackle. That's the type of running that Salam has. Great vision from a tailback position.
111 yards, and I think that's going to put him over 1,000 for the season. And remember, we are in week 6. There's what he's done. This is first half statistics. 111, almost 8 yards a carry, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's on a pretty good pace now. He's up there with some big names when he's going for 2,000 yards.
Well, that's the kind of pace he's on now that he's got 1,004 on the season. He's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage this time. Martin Chase. Gary said if you put the season together for Rashaan Salam, where would he end up? How about with this group? Sanders, Allen, Rozier, LaShawn Johnson last year, Tony Dorsett at the time, and now that 2162 would be pretty strong.
I hate to say it, but there's 4 Heisman trophies sitting on that page right there, and possibly a 5th. And you know, if Cordell Stewart isn't on this team, kind of taking some of the votes, you might see Rashaan Salam heading up as maybe the leading contender for the trophy. I don't really think he cares less about it.
I think he does either. 2nd and goal at the 7. That's been the magic number if they give it to Salam from the 7. He's got it again. And Rashaan just keeps rolling those 7s.
Right now, you saw Gary Gibbs. He's got to get his football team back just a little bit of confidence right now. They could go south in a hurry. Another isolation play right up the middle. This time, Keith Miller, number 37, is the fullback. Salam sees the hole, boom, into the hole and out of the hole. As good as anyone I've ever seen run from tailback. Takes a hit in the face, but holds on to it.
Voskerichian, the point after. A long night for the Sooners so far. 11:53 till the half. Salam with 3 touchdowns already.
When something brand new, something fresh and exhilarating, comes into your life at the exact moment you're ready, screamingly ready for it, it's not coincidence. Aurora by Oldsmobile. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new car payment get you all wound up. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It can put a new spin on affordability.
ESPN's presentation of CFA college football is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. And by the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. They have had plenty of reason to cheer so far at Folsom Field. 21-0, Colorado. 11:53 to go, first half.
Haven't we done this already once, Brad?
I think we did it earlier this year, didn't we?
The team was in red, too.
Voskerichian. Taking a yard deep, a little indecision. Mills brings it out. He broke through the pack. P.J. Mills. Knocked out by Voskerichian, or he might have been off to the races 102 yards. He got out to the 34-yard line.
Well, finally something is good for this happen for this offense where they can start to run some of the plays.
A little bit of room out near the 34 for the Sooner offense.
Probably have about 30% more offense you can run from the 30-yard line than you can from the 10-yard line.
Garrett McGee late to come from the sideline.
You got to have a quarterback. Garrett McGee trots on now.
James Allen will trot out. That'll leave Jeff Frazier as the I-back behind Gerald Moore, who gets the call. Moore out.
That's more 39. Like it. running for the hole and just anticipating that hole to be out there one hole wider. He was giving up on the play. That's what needs to be established for this Oklahoma offense to work tonight.
Moore, 106 yards against Texas Tech, his best game this year as you look at his seasonal numbers. And he and James Allen came in virtually identical in the stat category. Moore is a fullback, but he's got tailback type speed. Field position's been all Colorado, so is the scoreboard. And here comes Frazier. He's the guy with maybe the most speed in that backfield. And Jeff's got a first down for the Sooners out at the 46-yard line.
Well, Jeff Frazier got hurt a year ago. People who follow Sooner football know. Kind of opened the door for James Allen, but he's back and healthy this year, and that's what really prompted the three-back offense.
Really, it's been a 2-year situation for this kid, Jeff Frazier. Shoulder surgery in '92, and then injured his left knee just a few days before the season opener. Was a starter last year, or would have been before that injury. And so it's been a long haul back from shoulder and knee surgery. But he has tremendous speed, great size from that spot back there, 6'2", 213. First down. This is the deepest penetration for the Sooners, if you want to look at it that way. They're still on their side of the field, but they've worked it to the 46. McGee fires out, found his receiver, and it's going to be a tough first down. And finally into Colorado territory as Albert Hall made the catch and the first down for the Sooners. Down to the 42. McGee looks over to get the call.
Well, Watson Brown told me Garrick McGee is an accurate thrower, but he has to keep things fairly simple for him in the passing game right now. The pitch, Frazier, he got tagged pretty good by Mike Phillips and Ted Johnson. Let's go to Mike Tirico.
Brad, Mr. Salam is now second in the nation in rushing because Napoleon Kaufman was held to 80 yards on the ground today, but he did have 7 here on this touchdown run as Washington was able to win easily. And USC did hang on to beat Stanford, by the way, 27-20. Another big day on the ground, this one from Sean Walters.
Rashaan Salam, the big night so far. As Gary said, I don't think he could care less about the Heisman. But we said to him, who do you think should win it? And he said, Napoleon Kaufman, no question in my mind. He said, we were friends when we were getting recruited together. We've kept in touch. And he said, I don't think there's anybody in the country better than he is. I don't know. Well, Rashawn's putting on his own show tonight.
I think with the quarterbacks struggling this year and having hot and cold games, a running back's going to win it.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, false start on the offense. 5 yards, repeat second down.
It's a good look at Rashaan, who's over 1,000 for the season, averaging 6.7 and 15 touchdowns. He came into the weekend as the nation's leading scorer with 12 touchdowns and has quickly added 18 more points to that total.
Yeah, he's the third leading receiver on the football team, too. And I think most impressive, you see a lot of tailbacks. Everybody's rotating their tailbacks. Salam plays all the time.
Oklahoma comes with the wishbone with the 44. Here's that counter coming back the other way for James Allen, waiting on a block, slipped down, and helped down by Shannon Clavell.
Boy, James Allen is upset with himself, and I think this is the story of the football game so far. The Oklahoma football players are trying to make a touchdown on every play. They're not patient with the play. They're so into this football game, so fired up, trying to perform on national television. You see the cutback blocking, the counter blocking by the offensive line for Oklahoma. Good job that time by Milton Overton, but the running backs have no patience for this running game so far. They're slipping, they're falling, they're jumping off sides, they're not staying with the holes.
Allen is -7 carrying the football. Third down and 13. McGee in the middle. Intercepted. Liamidi dropped the ball. Let's see who's covered it this time. Penalty markers down 2. We've got a little bit of everything going on this play. Liamidi got the pick and then lost the handle. And the officials will huddle.
Well, I don't know what the side judge is calling in this play. He's waving his arms like it was not a fumble, saying that he was down before he dropped it. But the ball was going to be thrown to Alexander over the middle, and it looked like Alexander overran it. But
we've got an illegal forward pass, 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. first down, Colorado.
So forward lateral is what the call is after the interception.
You'll see Alexander somewhat overruns the hole as far as McGee was concerned. Leometti gets the play right here, and he was trying to pitch this play. That's why they called it an illegal forward lateral on the play.
So Oklahoma with a couple of turnovers, and again, last time it was at their own 18-yard line. At least this time it's back.
Wouldn't be surprised if they don't go for a home run here.
At the 34, first down. Maybe an end around. Westbrook got his blocks. Michael Westbrook cut back inside. Got another block downfield. And Westbrook all the way to the 26-yard line.
Well, I guess that's going for the home run or go for the triple, I guess, right?
The last block he got was from Stoltenberg as center.
40 yards downfield, but I think you'll see the option play right here. Here comes Westbrook the other direction. But if we could stop it right about here, stop it plate here. Here's Caruth. See if he doesn't grab the defender on this play right here. That should have been a penalty, grabbing Tim Denton from behind in that play. Successful play, but I think Caruth got away with one on that play.
Westbrook rips it off to the 26. First and 10, Colorado. Play action. Stewart over the middle, back to Salam out of the backfield. That's his first catch tonight. It picks up about 7 yards. Anthony Fogel, the safety, made the stop.
Try to get a handle on this offense if you're a defensive coordinator. Elliot Uzelak, the offensive coordinator, come from Ohio State, coached at Michigan. A lot of people said, hey, you're just a running coach, a line coach. He said, you know, I used to have a lot of tendencies, but I never had this kind of talent
That's right.
before.
Inside the 20 is Colorado. That's the bad news if you're a Sooner fan, because every trip inside there has resulted in a score, and all three have been touchdowns for the Buffaloes.
Westbrook's got man-to-man coverage.
Stewart keeps it. Nice spin move, and he's got it down inside the 10.
Wow. Now, Cordell Stewart is a 4.340 guy. That's right, 4.340. Is it fun? You bet. When you're ahead 21-0 and anything you call works, it's fun playing quarterback. Ask Garrett McGee how much fun it is to play quarterback on the other side right now.
It's first and goal at the 9-yard line. The Sooner defense is probably hoping that Oklahoma, or rather Colorado, doesn't get it to the 7-yard line.
Yeah.
Because then you know what'll happen.
In comes the fullback.
From the 9. Salam, this time from the 9. Touchdown, Colorado. Oh boy, what a show this junior from San Diego is putting on tonight.
And give credit to the offensive line too. You're correct. He reads the holes and he shoots through them. I don't know if anybody could really run the ball better than he's running in this game, but what a powerhouse offensive design this team has put together here in Colorado this year.
Stampede is about to have its 28th point from Voskerichian. And they do. And this young man has just tied a school record for rushing touchdowns in a single game, and we still have a long way to go. 7:19 to the half, 28-0, Colorado.
Hi, welcome to Subway.
Subway isn't like those fancy New York steakhouses. No stuffy maitre d' or jackets required.
Great vest. Thanks.
But we do have A1 steak sauce. It's on Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Slices of tender, juicy steak topped with the great taste of A1, plus all the fresh fixins you like. And at Subway, you don't get a big bill. You get change. Subway's new A1 steak and cheese. Appetites are required. Jackets aren't.
What's on everybody's mind right now? Football. Big guys, big thrills, big fun. But don't just think tailgate parties. Think tailgate sweepstakes. Coach Kelly's tailgate sweepstakes at your participating Kelly dealer. Win a $500 gift certificate from Land's End. Hundreds will be awarded throughout the country. Now that's a grand prize you can love. Of course, so are the good deals you'll find on great Kelly tires. So get your tailgate to your Kelly dealer today and enter Coach Kelly's tailgate sweepstakes. Don't pass this one up.
Sports writers. Ever wonder how they pick football's national champion? It's a highly scientific process. It's time to settle it on the field. Introducing college football's national championship by Sega Sports. 32 top college teams going head-to-head. No sports riders, just great football action. College football's national championship, only on Sega Genesis.
Buffaloes by 28 with 7:19 left in the half. Our Sega Sports student athletes of the game from Oklahoma, Garrick McGee, the quarterback, a junior from Tulsa with a 3.2 GPA in sociology and a big hit on the high school speaking tour. And from Colorado, it's Neil Voskerichian, a junior from Arcadia, California, 3.5 GPA in film studies. After college, he'd like to become a TV or film director. Well, he can film his 4 extra points already tonight and his kickoff that's upcoming. Colorado would love to study this film.
Well, Oklahoma wishes this was a Sega video game. They could start over.
Hit the reset button.
Right.
Mills has to backpedal 6 yards deep. PJ won't bring it out. Oklahoma will work from the 20-yard line. It's been the Rashaan Salam show with 4 touchdowns. I think maybe we ought to give this kid a report card, don't you think?
Midterm grades?
Yeah.
Let's give him something. You know, power, A+. That's I'm going to give him a plus for that. Size, hey, he's got the size you need. Passer, he's second leading receiver on this football team. That's A+. Vision, you saw him find those holes right there. I'm going to say A-. Durability, A+, plays all the time. And speed, obviously, an A+.
A- on vision? What's wrong with you, Professor?
All right. I'm an easy grader. Let's move that one up to A+.
That's the kind of night he's had. McGee trying to find some room to throw, and all he finds is Shannon Clavell. Came into the season as an Outland and Lombardi candidate. He sat out the Wisconsin game, suspended for that one from something that happened way back last summer. Was itching to get back in the lineup, and ever since he's come back in there, he's shown the kind of play that made him all Big 8 last year.
Yeah, and the score's 28-0, and Garrick McGee is limping very badly right now.
And they need a passer now, and Terrence Brown, their backup quarterback, is not the more proficient putting the football in the air. Allen out across of 15, and there's, you see, the hobble of Garrick McGee. It's like he's favoring the right ankle, maybe.
Well, as a quarterback, I can tell you one thing. If you were in the game right now, there's no way you come out with an injury. Too many people question your heart in that type of game. You just got to stay right in there and just finish it off. They take you off on a stretcher if they take you off.
3rd down and 14. McGee rolls on the bad wheel and fires, and it's almost intercepted by Chris Hudson. Got his hands on it. Excellent coverage on the corner.
Kind of tough to pick up 3rd down. The last 4 times Oklahoma's had 3rd down conversion. 16 yards, 10 yards, 13 yards, and 14 yards.
And now it is 4th and 14. Enter Tim Daughtry. This is the kind of spot you got to watch out for this guy.
You know, and you can feel the heat coming from Norman, Oklahoma right now, too.
You're not kidding. Daughtry got a beauty of a punt. Hudson waits on it to 39. Lost the ball. Oklahoma trying to pick it up. They will cover it. The Sooners get a break. And down there, as he was earlier, Wendell Davis, who caused the earlier fumble, recovers this one.
What? Hey, it's 28-0, and Colorado has turned the ball over twice on punts. See, it makes one move coming from the side this time, carrying in his left hand. Number 17.
On the receiving team, decline. 1st down, Oklahoma.
Rod Henson is the guy who made the play. You see it, Chris Hudson, great confidence in his skills, holding it basically in one hand. Henderson comes in and pokes it out. And Oklahoma finally has something good happen in there for this football game for them.
Wendell Davis tried to scoop that with one hand and just keep right on going, but then did the smart thing when he couldn't find the handle, and that's cover it right there. And right there is the 28-yard line. 1st down, Sooners. 5:51 in the half. 28-0 Buffaloes. 4th ranked and looking all of that from the wishbone. McGee keeps this time, and he gets down near the 12-yard line. Limping around earlier and didn't limp on that one. Nice run by Garrick McGee to pick up a first down.
Well, of course, Garrick McGee started his career at Arizona State, went to junior college, came back here, played spring ball, is not really an option quarterback. Says he doesn't like to be known as an option quarterback, but in this type of game, you got to do whatever you can to make the ball go forward.
Coming back the other way is Allen, and he's down near the 9-yard line. Picked up almost 4. Alan Wilbin made the stop, along with Phillips. And Oklahoma, we talked about Colorado's proficiency inside the 20-yard line. Oklahoma inside the 20 this year, 16 possessions. Half the time they scored touchdowns, 3 field goals. And they are in desperate need of a touchdown to kind of right the ship here and try to work their way back into this football game. A 2nd down and 7. They can get a first down at the 2. They'll go with a bone. Flags down as Moore got a couple from the fullback spot. But again, there seemed to be confusion out there.
I think Kerry Hicks that time anticipated the count and he was offside. Either that or someone moved again.
Dead ball, snap infraction on the offense, 5 yards, repeat 2nd down.
The penalties not helping the cause tonight, obviously.
No, you're not going to beat Colorado unless you at least play solid football on your own. Right now, Oklahoma is their own worst enemy in this football game. Looks like the center kind of puckers this time with this play. That's why Kerry Hicks, there you see it. That pucker said, Kerry Hicks, I can go. Illegal procedure.
And now McGee keeps and pays the price. Ted Johnson up high. Rasga's there.
Colorado lines up in a front that looks like a 3-4, but really Ted Johnson is their middle linebacker. He's the guy that's responsible for the quarterback and option football. Ted Johnson, the leading tackle right there. He's going to read the blocking backs, come across the face, and be right in the face of the quarterback. Nice job for the leading tackler for the Buffaloes.
Butkus candidate. Came in number 7 all-time on the Colorado tackle charts, and he's moving up the list tonight. 3rd and 11. McGee to the end zone. It's intercepted. And it's Chris Hudson. Intended for Albert Hall. Hudson showing why he's all Big 8 and a Thorpe candidate.
And you saw Bill McCartney kind of smile. He said, you know, I gave it to him. I might as well get it back. Watson Brown said the one guy he did not want to throw the ball at in this game was Chris Hudson. He's too good. Well, he was right. He's too good. He didn't do the first part of it. He was right on the play. Garrick McGee upset with himself, underthrowing the ball.
Hudson's 14th career interception. Colorado's got it back when we come back.
Hi, I'm Mike Naughton with a factory introduction sale on the 1995 F-150 long bed. I've got 40 of them at just $15,977. They're all 4-wheel drives with XL trim, air conditioning, anti-lock brakes, airbag, overdrive transmission, and super engine cooling. Not leftover 94s, but brand new 95. While they last, just $15,977.
In Aurora, Colorado, or call nationwide 1-800-BIG-MIKE.
Colorado voters are reading Amendment 1, and they're asking questions.
If we raise taxes on smokers, where will the money go?
Amendment 1 would give $128 million to the Department of Health.
How would they spend the money?
Any way they want. According to Al Knight of the Denver Post, quote, never would the expenditure of these millions have to undergo the reality check of legislative review or be subjected to any kind of cost-benefit analysis. Amendment 1, it has a lot of problems, but don't take our word for it. Read it yourself before you vote.
5 reasons to watch ESPN's new daily game show, The Perfect Match, weekdays at 6 p.m. Number 5, Perfect Match isn't on strike. Number 4, Perfect Match discovers new stuff.
Gretzky's gal. Jerry. Whoa.
Number 3, Perfect Match lets viewers play at home by telephone and win cash prizes and trips. Number 2, Perfect Match's host Ken Over thinks OJ is still a running back. And the number 1 reason to watch Perfect Match, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, there's nothing better on. Perfect Match, weekdays at 6 p.m. Eastern.
When things are going well and then your defense can help you out, 28-0 Colorado. The man in the middle of that defensive bench, Chris Hudson, just gave it back to the Colorado offense. 1st and 10 from the 20. Salam. And Rashaan Salam picked up about 3 before Fogle made the tackle. Colorado can take their time, try to use up the last 3.5 minutes here and head to the locker room no worse than up 4 touchdowns if they don't drop one. For Chris Hudson, Gary, his 14th career interception here, and it ties him for 2nd place all time with a guy that played some pretty good football for the Miami Dolphins.
Dick Anderson. Yeah, I was fortunate enough not to be able to play against him, but I'd have thrown him a few too.
2nd down and 7. Here's Stewart on the option. Late pitch, got it to Salam on the corner. Waits for his block, got a 1st down. Flag flies in at the end of the play.
Well, I tell you, that time Cordell Stewart took one right in the chest from Broderick Simpson, number 51. He waited till the last second to pitch it. And I think that downfield that time, Naoli is going to get called for pushing on the play. Key to the offense, I believe, is having a one-back offense is being able to run the option. You don't have to run it a lot, just enough to keep the defense honest.
Illegal block low.
Yeah, illegal push below the. Did I say pushing? There's a little push below the knees.
Naoli.
Close.
That'll back up Colorado for the first time
Elliot
tonight.
Uzelak said that.
Below the waist, against the offense, 15 yards, repeat 2nd down.
Chris Naoli is only a sophomore, and Elliot Uzelak, who's coached a long time in college football, said he's the best offensive lineman I've ever had. He coached a guy named Jumbo Elliott, pretty good offensive lineman in Michigan, and he said this guy is the best I've ever worked with.
The
Can't
penalty.
run. 6'4", 280 pounds, who can run.
Penalty puts it back at the 16-yard line. 2nd down, 14. We're down to 3 minutes and a half. Westbrook in motion. Here's a little delay draw to Salam. And Rashaan Salam got it back to the original line of scrimmage near the 20-yard line. Pretty special lady watching Salam in the stands tonight. I think Adrian's got more on that.
Brad, I'm with Kalata Salam. First time you've ever been to Colorado to see your son play?
To see my son play. I brought him to school here, and that was it. That was 2 years ago.
You obviously brought the good luck charms tonight.
I hope so. I hope so.
You actually started and opened your own high school for your son, along with some other mothers of student athletes in San Diego?
No, it was an elementary school. My husband, Hakeem, and I opened up from kindergarten to the 6th grade, the community preparatory school in San Diego, California.
Must be an awfully proud mother. Who's this to our left?
This is his brother, Jabali Alaji.
You got the same kind of wheels as your brother does?
No.
Braddy's already wearing the Colorado Buffalo cap. Have a great time.
Thank you very much.
All right. Rashaan Salam, whose full name is Rashaan Ayman Salam, meaning righteous, faith, and peace. There hasn't been a lot of peace out there if you're an Oklahoma Sooner trying to bring him down tonight.
Wasn't he impressive to talk to, though?
He sure was.
His answers just came out so truthful and honest about why he wanted to. I asked him about the Heisman. I didn't really care about it. Hadn't even thought about it. You could tell he hadn't thought about it. He's going to have to think about it. He's in the hunt.
Just over 2 minutes. 3rd down, 15 from the 15. Play action. Cordell Stewart, plenty of time to throw. Comes back. Westbrook, the intended receiver, and broken up by Tim Denton.
Boy, I tell you, Tim Denton was all over his back that time. The Colorado bench came out, but Tim Denton was in position to make the play, and he got away with one there. Looked like his left hand was on Westbrook's back when Cordell Stewart came to the backside. You'll see his left hand around the waist, and that's really what caused the interference call, or non-call, or at least the reaction from the Colorado bench.
They did have a little dozy-do going on out there. Here's Andy Mitchell. Finally gets a chance to try to warm up his hands and his leg. And the Sooners with 10 men up. And they might get to it very close to blocking that punt. And now Mills makes it a risky play. Penalty markers down as well. Seems like every time we have a punt return, we have a flag on the play.
Boy, Oklahoma's very fortunate to get this ball back. 10-man rush, and Mills does not call a fair catch with 8 guys staring at him right in the face. No coordination in the special teams play between Mills and the call of a block.
Interference with an opportunity to catch the ball. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
says, who was it? Was it on you? As he points at Russell.
You'll see what Mills does is kind of misjudge the ball. Number 46, Johnson, is the guy that's too close. You got to give him a yard. Mills should have called a fair catch, though. He's very fortunate to get away with that one.
And Ted was pretty close. Mills misplayed it, but it
again,
came up okay for him.
Brad, guys trying to make big plays out of nothing again.
McGee fumbles the snap and gets back for maybe a loss of a foot.
You can't question the desire that the Oklahoma football players are putting in this game to try to win it and please their fans and take some of the pressure off their head coach. But when you try a little bit too hard, sometimes you try to do things that you're just not capable of doing.
They're going to take one of their timeouts with 1:23 remaining in the half. We'll take a break as well, and we'll see if the Sooners can get on the board when we come back. They trail by 28.
This is not a hobby, it's not a job, it's a career.
Real estate is a people business.
I get to be involved in what is one of the most significant things that people do in their lives.
Century 21 means that I'm associated with the best of the best out there.
Century 21 means to me an opportunity to be all that you can be, no matter who you are. If you wear this jacket and you really want to be an agent, the sky is the limit.
Every day in 34 countries and in over 300 cities around the world, Delta Airlines helps people get down to business. Every 17 seconds, Delta has a flight taking off to the world of facts and figures, buying and selling, budgets and bottom lines. And when the job is done, we have just as many flights to bring you back. To the world of mommies and daddies, husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, and best friends. Delta Airlines.
A minute and 23 seconds remaining in the half. All Colorado in this Big 8 matchup tonight. Folsom Field in Boulder. Garrick McGee trying to get the Sooners on the board before the break, which is 1:23 away. Second down and 10. Garrick fires the sideline. It's intercepted. Picked off by Steve Rasga.
Steve Rasga, Colorado coming with the blitz, was man-to-man coverage. This was a zone route. The back going down the flat and coming up the sideline. Rasga plays it perfectly. Suckered McGee into the throw that time, going to Allen out of the backfield and just playing perfect center field as the safety. Rasga comes in and makes the play. He had the big interception against Wisconsin also in that football game, and now Colorado has a chance to go into 2-minute offense.
Salam covers both arms around the ball. He bangs in there for a couple. And we're approaching a minute. The last 3 passes Garrick McGee has thrown have been intercepted by Liamidi, Hudson, and then Rasga.
It appears that Colorado is going to sit on the 28-0 lead and not push it. I can guarantee you if this game was closer than 4 touchdowns right now, they would be pushing that ball towards the end zone.
James Kidd and Michael Westbrook are the wideouts to each side. The clock continues to wind down. Second down and 9. Salam. It'll be a holding call. I think a flag flies in as Rashawn slides out to the 36-yard line. And that it is.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the ball. Repeat, second down.
It's a 14th penalty in the game tonight. 7 each way. Our halftime just 35 seconds away, and that's when we'll get our GMAC halftime report. Auburn and Florida, what a game that was. Who's number 1? Well, everybody moves up a notch. And Steve McNair, another big day on the ground, in the air. And what a big first half. The Colorado Buffaloes, who are going to move up in the polls. How far? We won't know till Monday, but of course they've got a half left, but this half has belonged to them against the Oklahoma Sooners. Stewart pitches to Salam. He's knocked out of bounds with 9 seconds left. Cordell Stewart got tattooed that time again by Tyrell Peters.
That gets a little old, running that option. Getting hit by those inside backers like that.
You ran that at Purdue, didn't you?
Yes, I did, unfortunately. It led to an 0-3 start. That's what we did.
That's why your arms aren't the same length.
If you ever get hit by those inside linebackers, you get hip pointers. You'd rather get hit by Lawrence Taylor throwing the ball than get hit on the option. You know what's great is the coaches say, you don't get hit any harder on the option.
All right.
I'll let you try it, Coach.
Third down, 14. Rashaan Salam, as he has done so many times tonight, carries for positive yardage and carries us to halftime. Oh, the Buffaloes have been impressive, and so has number 19. A 4-touchdown, 100-plus first half for Rashaan Salam. And at the break, the 4th-ranked Colorado Buffaloes making a statement to the national pollsters, leading number 22 Oklahoma 28-0 as we send it back to the studios and Mike Tirico. Mike?
Yeah, Brad, statement may be an understatement. Dominance by the Buffs in the first half and a second half yet to come. The GMAC halftime report is next. Scores and highlights on a shakedown third Saturday in October. And the only 3 guys who are just hanging out watching TV in Ann Arbor on a Saturday night. Chris, Craig, and the coach will put the day in perspective and have some reaction to the big one in the big house as we return at the half 28-0 Buffs.
There you go. Ken, I really want to do it. I'm going to take the check and let's leave it. Hey, no, it's not a big deal.
Since the introduction of Visa Rewards, everyone wants to use their Visa card. Because now 10% of all your purchases automatically goes towards savings on American Airlines flyaway vacations, Carnival and Holland America cruise lines, and Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites.
Look at yourselves. You're acting like a bunch of kids. Besides, I saw it first.
Visa Rewards. Now your Visa card's even more rewarding.
People will remember the first time they saw an aurora. And you'll be one of the lucky ones who can say that when Aurora was ready to go, so were you. See what happens when you demand better? Aurora by Oldsmobile.
This halftime report is presented by GMAC.
Let's get you up to date on a game going on right now. Don Shanklin, who is quarterbacking Oregon State, on the option to J.J. Young, a 15-yard score. Shanklin got him down there with a 72-yard run. The quarterback is in for Tim Alexander, who's out with a broken left clavicle. 2 teams that are 0-3 in the Pac-10, and right now UCLA may go 0-4. As we get going on the GMAC halftime report, last year they were both 5-0 coming into their matchup. We're talking about Auburn and Florida. And what happened? Auburn, in a game in the 30s, handed Florida their first loss of the season. Would history repeat itself just a year later? Danny Werfel came in for Terry Dean in this game. In the fourth quarter, his team down for only a second more. Jack Jackson, a 28-yard score, and the Gators lead 33-29. But on their next possession, unable to run out the clock, 3rd and 15, Spurrier decides to put it up. Werfel is intercepted by Brian Robinson. 1 of 6 Florida turnovers on the day. And after converting a 4th and 10, on 1st and goal, Patrick Nix against the blitz to Frankie Sanders. An 8-yard catch. It would prove to be the game-winning touchdown for Terry's Tigers. Terry Bowden, who told ESPN Radio that he called his dad at halftime. Well, Dad said, keep doing what you're doing. Tigers did, and Auburn knocks off Florida for the second straight year. They've won 18 straight. They have the lead, obviously, in their division of the SEC. After the game, Brett Haber spoke with the victorious head coach.
All right, Terry Bowden, your defense has lived by the big play all year. You had to step it up against Florida. You did that, 5 interceptions. Tough to do at the Swamp.
It's tough to do, Ark. It's unbelievable. I can't believe the effort we gave. All of our players, all of our fans. I'll see everybody at Toomer's Corner.
Wait a second. Patrick Nix said this is your bowl game. You don't have one this year. Was that this big a game for you?
It was our Super Bowl. If we were going to have a chance at a national championship, we were lucky enough to get the #1 team. Everybody wanted them to be #1. There was no fluke today. We beat them fair enough.
Spurrier criticized your schedule. Now you've beaten him twice. I guess he can't criticize it anymore.
I don't know. He's probably right.
My last question. You beat the #1 team in the country in their backyard. What does that do to Auburn's rating?
It ought to make us #1 if you ask me.
Some of the difference, not only the 6 turnovers, but Auburn was able to move the ball on the ground. Nobody had done that on the Gators coming into today. Is Auburn #1 because they beat #1 at their place, or is Nebraska, which wins by 11? Behringer came in the second half. Lawrence Phillips really carried the load, and the secondary was the story, shutting down Chad May. In the Pac-10, Arizona-Washington State, the defensive battle, 10-7, 30 seconds left. Tony Truitt, the walk-on, had to kick from 5 yards farther back because of a delay of game penalty against Mike Price's team. 44-yard field goal to tie. Hanging out there to the left and no good. Washington State was in such good position because they forced a fumble, but Arizona survives, gets the win in a game where the two teams combined for 50 yards rushing on 80 rushing attempts. Arizona survives, and they're the only unbeaten in the Pac-10. BYU Notre Dame. Lou Holtz made 8 changes in the starting lineup, but BYU controlled this game on the ground. Jamal Willis up and over the top for the touchdown. 21-14, Lavelle Edwards and his Cougars get an immense road non-conference victory. The Irish averaged just 2.5 per carry on the ground and likely will be unranked for the first time since 1986. The big one in the big house, Penn State and Michigan. You see the time remaining. It was 24-all. Penn State had blown a 16-0 lead, but Kerry Collins goes back on third down, finds Bobby Engram for a 16-yard score. The Lions lead by 7. After Wheatley with a big carry gets it downfield, Amani Toomer is open and just, maybe half a foot from what would have been a touchdown to get it closer. Then on third down, Biaka Batuka is stopped. It was 3rd and inches. Now facing 4th and 2. Collins is scrambling. He's looking for Mercury Hayes, who didn't come back to the quarterback. Brian Miller gets in the way. Michigan loses another close, tough game at the big house. Penn State is unbeaten, 6-0 overall, 3-0 in the conference. Wheatley at 144, but Carter and company get the win, and we get it back out to a squared and rejoin Chris Fowler.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome back for one final visit from Ann Arbor. I guess statements being made, the theme of the day. Colorado making a statement. Auburn, Alabama, strong statements. Nebraska beats a ranked team on the road. And Penn State made a strong statement today, facing their first adversity of the season, their first real big test, coming back and winning a game on the road against a pretty good Michigan team.
I think we proved to the country that we're not a joke. We're not a fluke that beat 5 straight horrible teams. We went out there against a good team today that has beaten some quality teams around this country and took it to them.
We aren't going to act like we're not men. And we had our opportunity. We were given 60 minutes to go out there and win a battle, okay? We did not win the battle as coaches and players, okay? That's as simple as it is. I expected our team to play better.
So Michigan, of course, out of the national title hunt. Penn State, the Big Ten frontrunner. The Pac-10 race, Arizona kind of took over that role by beating Washington State.
An interesting fact about Arizona, they have a little extra incentive on this one. Arizona is the only team in the Pac-10 and or the Big Ten that has never been to the Rose Bowl. Watch out. Arizona plays UCLA next week. UCLA beat them last year and cost them the Rose Bowl bid.
Hey, wait a minute, my friend. UCLA is a dog team. We talk about Auburn, a team that probably deserves to be #1 right now. Nobody's beaten them over the last 2 years. This season, they've come along the last 10 quarters because of the quarterback position. Offensively, they are doing a great job. Patrick Nix has completed nearly 60% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, only 1 interception. He's got a great runner in Steve Davis, and he's got a great wide receiver in Frankie Sanders, and they move the ball, and they take what the defense gives them.
Great effort by Auburn. The Tigers go to 7-0. Of course, they cannot play in a bowl game, so their chances at an AP national championship rest on winning only 4 more games, and the next 3 of those games are at home, but they've been very, very tough. Arkansas, East Carolina, Georgia, always a test with Eric Zier, although obviously a lot of defensive problems. And then the Iron Bowl, the 19th. I don't know if a lot of voters will vote for a team on probation or a team that doesn't have to win a bowl game, but Auburn, certainly the easiest road of any of the contenders to get to 11-0.
Speaking of probation, it must be really good to be on probation, you know, because A&M, Auburn, and Washington are combined 18-1.
Hey, and hats off to Nebraska. They go out with a great defensive effort. They go in. They shut down Chad May when nobody thought they could do that. Last year, he killed their defense. They win the game today.
87 first-place votes up for grabs in the bowl poll. Now that Florida's lost, should be a very interesting poll when it comes out. That'll do it. Mike Tirico has more halftime. It's Colorado 28-0 over Oklahoma.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Get Smart Lease by GMAC. It's an affordable way to drive off with a new GM vehicle. And it might even give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around.
The difference. When Chardonnay is made from expensive coastal grapes, fine Chardonnay has to be made expensively. It just doesn't have to be sold that way. Napa Ridge Chardonnay, a great tasting wine, and unmistakable value.
Now, there's a brand new motor oil made to handle the stresses on your hard-working engine. 4x4 from Quaker State. Off-road driving. Extreme temperatures. Especially towing and hauling. They all make your light truck or 4x4 work extra hard and could shorten its life. Why settle for a conventional car oil? Get a synthetic blend that can take the punishment. 4x4. It's new from Quaker State. The intelligent oil for hard-working engines.
What do these women think about the new Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut? Wow, they love it! New Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut. Basil, oregano, garlic baked right in for a pizza crust like never before for only $8.99.
This halftime report is presented by GMAC Financial Services, the expressway home.
2-0 in the conference, Colorado would be if they can hang on through the second half. They're up 28. Nebraska's also 2-0 in the Big 8. Big 8 teams looking for their first win today and getting them Kansas over Iowa State, which now owns, along with Akron, the nation's longest 1A losing streak. And Missouri gets Larry Smith's first Big 8 conference win as coach of the Titans. Alabama, Tennessee, the third Saturday in October, can really be described of late in 2 words: roll tide. Alabama keeps just beating Tennessee. The last Vols win, 85 in this series, and it was Sherman-Williams' night. 13-10 the score in the fourth. Williams scores from 6 yards out. He had 142 yards rushing. Tennessee drives it down the field. The freshman Peyton Manning can't hit Nilo Sylvan on 4th down. And Alabama is 7-0, 4-0 in the SEC behind the Williams carrying it on the ground. And 3 Tennessee turnovers, including a key fumble by Stewart inside the 5 in the first half. In the Big Ten, Purdue ties Wisconsin. Purdue now alone in sole possession of second place in the Big Ten. Duke remains unbeaten in the ACC. They still have to play Florida State in a couple of weeks. They're now 6-0, a blocked punt, the difference in this game in the fourth quarter. Lee mentioned all the teams on probation, just 1 loss. Well, A&M still hasn't lost. The Battle of the Brazos against Baylor today. The 7th-ranked Aggies mixed up the game great. Corey Pullig, the play fake to senior Chris Sanders, 75 yards into the end zone in College Station, and the Aggies have won 24 in a row at home. A lot of kissing the dates today. 41 points put on the board, 524 yards of total offense. That 80 yards for Napoleon Kaufman, by the way, a season low for him in rushing. In the WAC, they will meet as unbeatens next week, Colorado State and Utah. Colorado State is 7-0 with their win in Fort Collins. That is 10 straight for Sonny Lubik's teams. Well, I guess you can call it a grand slam in the first half. 4 touchdowns for Rashawn. He has 16 on the season, and the Buffs lead by 28.
I run a Colorado company with 9 employees. Healthcare is an important issue to me. I have the choice of several plans, but the merger of CompuCare, Take Care, and FHP has resulted in one plan that satisfies everyone's needs. As the leading HMO in Colorado, FHP's network offers nearly half the doctors in the state. Chances are your current doctor is one of FHP's. Hey, keeping 9 people happy isn't easy. With FHP's choice of doctors, keeping them healthy is.
Hello, I'm Craig Fisher. If you need an all-purpose vehicle for your family, come check out our selection of customized vans and Suburbans at Fisher Chevrolet Geo. These great vehicles are outfitted with everything you need. They're comfortable and they're surprisingly luxurious. Perfect for vacations or just driving around town. Bring the family and take a test drive at Fisher Chevrolet Geo on Arapahoe at 60th in Boulder.
Pushing on to the next frontier. Just a part of the landscape out west.
When people came to the West, it was a new frontier. The teachers here, they'll take you to that frontier and say, yes, it's yours. The University of Colorado's made a difference for me. They've given me a great opportunity.
Out west on a new frontier where the buffalo roam. The University of Colorado.
Some people think athletes have it made, but nobody's life is easy. Everybody runs through tough times sooner or later. Running away from life isn't the answer. Drugs and alcohol won't solve your problem.
If you or someone you know needs help or information concerning drug abuse, call this toll-free number, 1-800-662-HELP. This message provided by the NCAA.
The GMAC halftime report continues in the Pac-10. Bill Walsh's team is now 0-3. Rob Johnson re-injured his ankle, but the ground game carrying the Trojans tonight. Illinois continues its good showing with their win. LSU, boy, 2 coaches that really needed a win, and Curly Hallman's team gets it on this one by 4. San Diego State, without their quarterback Tim Gutierrez, comes up with a win. It's been a struggle for New Mexico thus far this year. Vanderbilt ran the ball for 415 yards on the ground. Georgia only had it for 18 minutes. The Commodores get an immense win in the SEC on homecoming in Athens. Army gets a win over Louisville after the Cards last week handed NC State their first loss of the season, a surprise at Michie Stadium. Navy, they finally get into the win column this year. We only have 3 teams in Division 1A that do not have a win: Akron, Ohio, and Cincinnati. Houston also gets a win. Pittsburgh, West Virginia. It did leave us breathless today. The backyard brawl was all you could ask. John Ryan, the touchdown pass to Chad Askew. Pitt is down 1. That's 4th quarter time remaining. Johnny Majors says, let's go for 2. Let's go out and win this game. Well, Ryan, the quarterback, oh, what a perfect option. He's in, and the Panthers lead 41-40. You think this one's over? Not in this backyard brawl. Mountaineers, one last chance. Time running down. Chad Johnston, the quarterback, needs a big play. He's going to unload. Folks, tell me how Zach Abraham, the walk-on, gets this wide open with that much time left in the game. It's a touchdown, and the Mountaineers, who blew a huge lead, 31-6, come back to win 47-41 after beating Notre Dame. BC gets another win over Temple. In the Atlantic Coast Conference today, North Carolina State, they're still unbeaten in conference, along with Duke and Florida State, as they get their victory. I mentioned Illinois. Got a little ahead of myself. Dana Howard, who guaranteed the win last week, didn't guarantee it this week, but still helped cause the victory.
We're in show business. We're having fun. We're ringmasters of one of the greatest circuses of all time. Wow, that's great. California has a very special meaning around the world. It's about freedom. It's about choices. How about a pizza with potato on it? Peking duck. Thai chicken. We have watched where businesses have limited ways in which the customer pays. And when our customer reaches for an American Express card, we gladly accept it.
American Express is welcome to wherever fresh ideas are cooking. So dine out, America.
The cowboy's business is a business of silence. 100 miles of fence gives a person time to think, to wonder about who he is, what the world is coming to. Talk to a cowboy long enough and you'll get an opinion on everything. That's because he's had time to think about everything. Yeah, at Wrangler, we know cowboys. Our genes were invented by them. That's why the West is in us. Wrangler, the Western original.
The Big 8, a conference with a rich history.
Look at the move by that sensational player, a native of Omaha, and he is gone.
sweep left side goes to Schiller's at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Rod Schiller.
Looking and throwing upfield. It is caught. Now here's the future.
Thomas right side.
Coming soon, the Big 12.
Aaron McNair and Alcorn State are on the deuce next week. 8 touchdowns, 494 total yards in the win over Prairie View today. The second half from Boulder after this.
Hi, I'm Mike Naughton with a factory introduction sale on the 1995 F-150 long bed. I've got 40 of them at just $15,977. They're all 4-wheel drives with XL trim, air conditioning, anti-lock brakes, airbag, overdrive transmission, and super engine cooling. Not leftover 94s, but brand new 95. While they last, just $15,977.
In Aurora, Colorado, or call nationwide 1-800-BIG-MIKE.
Our pediatrician has seen these boys since they were born. It's a relationship we wouldn't trade for the world.
Choose the health plan that lets you choose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Colorado.
When I hurt my knee, I didn't want just any doctor. I wanted the best. Whoever works on it is going to be my choice.
Choose the health plan that lets you choose. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Colorado.
Good choice.
Craig T. Nelson of Coach and All-America Trev Alberts discuss athletics and academics.
Trev, you were an All-American academically and athletically. How'd you handle both?
You'd be surprised how much I learned from playing college football about managing time and fighting adversity that helped my game and my studies. A group of diverse individuals who learn how to win, solve problems, and communicate.
College football teaches lessons we can all use.
Saluting an American tradition. 125 years of college football.
Halftime at Boulder, Colorado. The Buffaloes have stampeded their way to a 28-0 halftime lead over the Sooners of Oklahoma. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson with you up here in the booth. More importantly, really, than the game or Rashaan Salam's first half and 4 touchdowns, I think, is what Adrian is about to try to do on the field.
So you got to take a look at this one. This is going all the way.
This will be something just a little bit different.
Brad, the many times been coming to Colorado in the past 4 years, gotten close to Raleigh. But they're going to get closer this time. Here we go. 30-year-old college tradition. The Buffalo. She weighs 1,400 pounds. Her pregame meal was 40 pounds of oats and barley. I think I just pulled a hamstring. Nobody besides Ralphie Handlers has ever made it. I'm halfway home. I'll tell you what.
Tatanka. Holy cow.
He made it.
I don't know I can top it, but we haven't told Adrian that next week we got something even more daring planned. We're going to have him walk out in the shoe with John Cooper.
And they'll both be wearing flak jackets.
John, we're just kidding. You had a big win there in East Lansing this week.
Third quarter. We're underway at Folsom Field. P.J. Mills will bring it out. P.J. got peppered pretty good at about the 24-yard line. Lyndon Henry down there in the special teams. Stats at halftime, as you might guess, in a 28-0 game. 203 the rushing yardage for Colorado.
Pick out any stat you want. You can circle about anything you want in this football game when total domination by the Colorado defense. A lot of it has been self-inflicted, like this is going to happen right here on this kickoff. Oklahoma comes out at halftime with another penalty, but it's been domination by the Colorado Buffaloes in the first half.
8th penalty on the kick return, and instead of being out at the 24-yard line, back it goes inside the 15, inside the 10, as a matter of fact. And that's been the story tonight for Garrett McGee and the Sooners offense.
Can you believe it?
Wow. We're going to have to check back in with him, see just how many muscles he had lost on that run. Out across the 10. Ted Johnson meets Moore for a fullback. Carson do anything to get on camera.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I don't know who had a tougher ride that first half, Adrian with Ralphie or Oklahoma trying to hold on to that offense.
And when he talked about what Ralphie 3 had for pregame meal, I wondered whose pregame meal was bigger too, because we have to go out and eat with him every weekend. Second down, 7. Sooners. And Allen, the second man, kind of ran into his own blocker and Darius Holland all at the same time. And it'll bring up third down And about 5 or 6.
Tell you what Ted Johnson does so well. You're going to get a double team right here, but watch Ted Johnson come up and just fill the hole. Fullback Gerald Moore is going to come in and try to block, but Johnson just is in the hole, bang. No movement. That forces the running back to find another hole. That's great linebacking. Take the play on at the point of attack and make them go somewhere else.
3rd down and 5. Mills in motion. McGee pump fakes to the right, wants to throw the screen back the other way. Oh, man. Mills just got leveled again, and again it's Darius Holland. Back-to-back tackles. Wow. Darius Holland strutting his stuff, as well he should.
Well, it was a double screen. You'll see Garrett McGee fake to his right, throw the throwback screen to the wide receiver, but it was so slow to delay that Darius Holland came off the block that time from Harry Stamps and came back and made the play from behind on a wide receiver screen.
3 and out, just what Oklahoma didn't want, and they almost had the kick blocked. In fact, it might have been partially tipped. The flag flies in. We'll have roughing or running into the punter unless that ball was tipped. I'm not sure it wasn't.
Well, that's going to be the question, is whether he got a piece of it or not. Maurice Henriquez thought he had a piece of the play. He doesn't seem to be arguing with it.
Roughing the kicker. First down.
And Bill McCartney saying what I was questioning was not the ball tipped. And maybe we can get another look to check. Here it comes.
45, Henriquez comes from the right side, your left side on the screen. And does he get a piece of the ball? You really can't tell on that play. It's a good call, obviously. You could tell how the punter was extended there, and it could have been dangerous for him, but Henriquez seems to not be arguing very hard, so it appears to me that he did not touch the play, and that's a good call. Wow.
So that gives the Sooners a first down out of the 28-yard line.
You know what I really think happened is he got in there so far, it forced the shank on the play.
That could have been it. The wishbone for Oklahoma. And on the pitch is Frazier. And Frazier got nice yardage across the 35. And Darius Holland again. Darius Holland, he's quite a player, a military brat from Las Cruces, New Mexico. He lived in Panama for a time, and they say the greatest thing about it, because he lived in Panama, he has the opportunity now to talk trash in both English and Spanish. He's some kind of player, though.
Yeah, I don't know if Brat goes with 285.
That's true. At least I wouldn't say it.
Right.
He's got 5 tackles tonight, and he's been in on the last 3. 2nd and short, and looks like a first down for Gerald Moore.
Well, I think for Gary Gibbs in this second half, he's just got to get his football team thinking about not so much winning this football game, but just coming out and playing some solid football through this half. And, you know, look on maybe, you know, in the 4th quarter, you look up and if you're within 2 touchdowns, then you start to maybe get excited again. But right now, Gary Gibbs has to get his football team back for the rest of the football season, let alone this game.
They did a nice job controlling the first half against Texas, and then saw Texas turn it around at the Cotton Bowl last week. Subsequently, the Oklahoma loss. Gerald Moore lost his footing.
Well, I tell you, whatever kind of shoes Oklahoma has on, they better take them off and get them switched, because there have been so many slips in this football game. And again, I believe, kind of becoming a little redundant on it, is just guys trying to make something out of nothing there.
I think they're wearing the same kind of spikes that Adrian had on when he ran through the mouth. We have to check in with him here in a couple minutes.
He's not ready. He doesn't have his win.
He's not ready. 2nd down 12. Straight drop by McGee. Look out from behind. Got rid of it as he was hit. Greg Jones on the backside came around the corner like a freight train and let McGee have it. The pass was completed, so they're going to move it up there to the 33-yard line. McGee got a short completion, got hammered as he threw the ball, and now faces a 3rd down and 17. 0 for 7 tonight.
And the key, though, is 11.3 yards per attempt on that.
Just can't leave yourself in those situations all night. Fires it out for his tight end, Alexander. He got up near the 40, but Hudson was there to meet him. Maybe a gain of 5. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's time to punt again.
It was a morale booster, but it really had no chance of trying to pick up a first down. It was a get out of the huddle, not get sacked play.
Tim Daughtry has been a busy punter tonight. Almost had the last one blocked.
He's lucky he has a left knee.
No kidding. And Hudson, who had a long return in the first quarter before fumbling near the end of it. Back for Colorado. This one comes off the side of his foot a bit. And Chris Hudson just waves it off. It'll go out at about the 36-yard line. That's where Colorado will start on offense. And they are healthy and ready to go with a 28-point lead. How about our sideline man, Adrian Carson? Is he healthy?
Healthy and ready to go. Yeah, you guys still think I'm in Ralphie recovery? Look, never broke a sweat. I was only going about half speed.
Right.
Look at this. I've just been told I lettered in running Ralphie. I'm going to fit in right about here, guys. Look, she actually signed it herself. One question, strange cologne she had on.
Hey,
eat
Adrian,
my chips.
Adrian,
yeah.
It never stopped you before, the cologne, you know.
Well, you know. Telling you guys, close as I've been to a girl in about 4 years' time.
Yep, and the last one you were close to looked a lot like Ralphie.
Thanks very much.
Ball went out of bounds. First down.
So a penalty against Colorado. Moves it back to the 26-yard line. Bill McCartney said this week that he thought his team would face a wounded group of Sooners, and he said they are dangerous when they come in wounded. Well, they came in wounded, and the gashes are getting deeper.
And the other thing I was impressed talking to him is he says, we know what position we're in now. We can't lose a football game. No letdowns, no excuses is his theme for the rest of the year.
Now the option, Salam on the pitch. Rashaan Salam out to the 31-yard line. Give him 5 more.
I was talking with Rick Neuheisel, and he was talking about calling plays, what an offensive coordinator has to think about down and distance, and what defensive tendencies. And I go, if I was calling plays with your team, I'd think about 3 things. Weapons, 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 because you got them all over, just use them. And Rick got a good chuckle out of it, but he's involved in the passing game, and he's brought a lot of stability to Cordell Stewart, but Elliot Uselak, the man upstairs, is the guy who's directing it.
Second down, Stewart over the middle. I was just going to say Fourier's maybe the only weapon they haven't used much tonight, and he gets the grab and looks like he has the first down. Ariel Freeman, the linebacker, made the hit. This kid will be some kind of tight end at the next level, too, you can bet.
Well, he's got a little bit of a groin injury. This time, I think it's a delay. I didn't have my eyes on him. Yeah, a delay for the outside linebacker. Buy some time, and then he's the check-off, the drop-off man if no one's open downfield. Fourier is just a complete tight end, a great blocker, has tremendous hands, and I think he's probably not 100% in this football game yet, but a guy, when he's 100%, is as good as anyone in the country.
He has his BA in communications, working on his master's. 20 receptions for the year, 85 for his career. Not bad for a tight end, huh? Stewart all day. Cordell's going to take off. I'm not quite sure how he got by Tyrell Peters, who looked like he had a beat on him, but Stewart did and picked up 11 and a first down.
Well, he wanted to go deep that time to Michael Westbrook, but they bracketed him. But Tyrell Peters right now is saying, man, quarterbacks are not supposed to be able to run like that. I don't know if they were playing flag football that time, but he'd been able to even get a flag out of him that time.
Out to the 49-yard line. The Colorado offense, 9 minutes left, third quarter. It's 28-0 Buffalo.
I'm really impressed with Peters and Freeman, the 2 inside backers for Oklahoma.
They have been around the ball on virtually every snap. Salam this time a cutback and then a little dance into the waiting arms of Brent DeQuazy, the junior from Midwest City, Oklahoma. Sooners, the Buffalo's rather rushing tonight, and Rashaan Salam in particular, here's where he's done it.
Yeah, you can see this is the big play right here. He had a huge play where he gashed it on that one play, the stretch play early in the game. But, you know, a lot of these plays, Brad, this play right here, 13 yards, this might have started this way and come into here. 40 yards over here might have started this way and come that way. His vision on these plays is just amazing.
That's why you upgraded that vision to an A+ earlier.
Oh, yeah, it was a PTA meeting. You came in and made lobby for him.
On play action, Stewart in trouble. Got away from one, but not the second way. David Campbell finally puts down Cordell Stewart way back near the 37-yard line.
Yeah, Colin Rosenberg is the guy, number 27, though, that stayed at home early in the game. Sterling Lucky didn't do that, but Rosenberg stayed with Stewart, and that's the key when you got a quarterback that come out of there on that naked play.
And now David Campbell, who subsequently made the sack of Cordell Stewart down after running all over trying to track down the Buffalo's quarterback. Coming into this game, the last 2 years, Campbell had 12 tackles in games against Colorado, and comes up favoring his right leg. So the big senior's going to have to head off.
You'll see what Rosenberg, he's right here. All the action is going to go this way, but you got to stay home and account for the quarterback. You'll see Rosenberg. Everybody's going one way. Let's see if Cordell Stewart has the ball. That's what made the play. And then Campbell comes in and kind of gets hit by his own guy. I think it was Rosenberg that put his shoulder on his ankle.
Campbell goes out, and Baron Tanner comes in to take his spot. David goes out with a 5-tackle night so far, but the last one proved costly to him. Third down at 22. Here's where you have to use your weapons even more. Empty backfield with Salam out as a receiver now, too. Stewart in trouble, and Cordell is hit and dropped for the second time in this series. Barry Giles and Cedric Jones in on the hit.
Oklahoma finally was able to force a third and long, very long situation. 3-man rush and great coverage in the secondary that time.
Cedric Jones got at least a piece of that sack. He came in with 6 on the year.
And Rod Henderson did a good job on Westbrook that time, too.
Andy Mitchell set to punt. Darius Johnson back deep. Mitchell, not a very good kick. And it takes a Sooner bounce and out of bounds in front of the Colorado bench at the 35-yard line. Cordell Stewart talking it over. Hasn't scored this quarter, but his team's up by 28.
Golf ball distributor gets urgent order. Customers in Kyoto. She's in L.A. Goes to post office. Finds Express Mail International as a smart solution. Doesn't cost much. Golf balls arrive by tea time.
Boy, I sure would love a bacon double cheeseburger. What do you say? You want one?
I say you're crazy. We'll lose our spot in line.
We're the only ones in line. Come on. It's just gonna take a minute. What could happen?
Hurry to McDonald's, and for a limited time, get the Bacon Double Cheeseburger. It's a bacon lover's dream with twice the meat and that smoky bacon flavor. With large fries and a medium Coke, it's just $2.99.
Hey, is that someone in your seat, Bacon Boy?
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
Mr. Gullible guy.
Chrysler Concorde's dramatic styling, engineered quality, and cab-forward design have so impressed car buyers that after its first year, Concorde has retained more of its value than any car in its class. Knowing that, Concorde owners may want to take steps to protect their investment. Chrysler Concorde, a valuable expression of form following function.
Team needs new jerseys. Person has to deliver them overnight. Goes to post office. Finds Express Mail as a smart solution. Guarantees delivery. Jerseys arrive on time. Person avoids getting sacked.
Yeah!
ESPN's presentation of CFA College Football is brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth and your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. And by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. That's a view of Boulder from Flagstaff Mountain at Passion Point. I didn't make it up there, Passion Point, this trip.
Well, I know you and lovely wife Nancy went up there somewhere, didn't you?
No, we're up in Nederland.
Oh, Nederland.
Brown had just checked in, almost fumbled it there.
Great
Got
play
his
by
own hop.
Darius Holland that time. Made a great play. He was getting blocked. When you can't block the defensive end, the fourth man in, when you're running an option play, if he can play off a block and still make a play on a quarterback, that's bad news. Darius Holland's having a super game.
He's going to graduate in the spring as Darius in criminal justice, and what he's doing to the Sooners in the last couple series has been criminal.
Well, you know, one play he's knocking down a wide receiver on a screen pass. The next play he's knocking down the quarterback on an option.
And now he's getting the crowd into it by getting the fist thumping up there as Terrence Brown looks in. Gibbs to Moore, the fullback, across the 40 to the 42. NEBRASKA came up from the secondary to have to hit the big guy.
One of the keys Watson Brown felt in this football game was running the fullback, and also he did not feel comfortable that he could march the ball down the field against the Colorado defense. He felt he had to have at least 3 big plays, 3 plays of 40 yards or more. Hasn't done it so far in this football game.
Nope.
Not even close.
Third down at 3. Brown keeps it. Maybe shouldn't have. Matt Russell, the linebacker. Shannon Clavel, Greg Jones, you name it, they were there, and he's short by about a yard. Tough spot in field position, Gary, but down 28-0, 4th and 1. What do you think? What the heck, huh?
Nothing's been working so far. You might as well try a 4th down play. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd down hasn't done much for you.
And so they will. Five out of 9 on the year. In the wishbone. I don't know. Brown, the quarterback, keeps it, and I don't think he got enough. He slipped on takeoff, it appeared again. Trying to follow his right guard, Shannon Clavel, down on the bottom of the pile. Colorado says we stopped him. Oh, they got
a fortunate spot right there.
They got a great spot.
I thought his knee and elbow came down on the ground much before that. But Gary Gibbs gets away with the gamble no matter what.
First down at the 45. All weeks are tough, but for Gary Gibbs, an especially tough one again after losing to Texas again last week. And that's the one, if you're an Oklahoma coach, they don't like you to lose. Brown, maybe 3 before Ted Johnson and NEBRASKA are there again. Gary Gibbs in his 6th season, 41 wins, 19 losses, 2 ties. It's not a bad record. 0-4-1 against Colorado. This week, the talk shows, as they always will, lit up after the loss to Texas. And maybe the most damaging, former Heisman Trophy winner, Steve Owens, was a guest on one of those and said maybe it's time after 6 years. Maybe Gary Gibbs has had all his chances he needs. Maybe we have to move in another direction. Now, when a guy that wins a Heisman and is as respected, I guess, as Steve Owens is by the OU fans, that one carries a heck of a lot of weight. So that made the week tougher for Coach Gibbs.
I'm sure it's not a vote of confidence. Let's put it that way. I don't think anything Steve Owens said really changes the situation for Gary Gibbs. He took over a program that was in deep trouble.
Illegal procedure. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
You know, you took over a program that didn't have scholarships, and he's righted them. Had a 5-0 last year. He had 2 tough losses, games that, you know, against with 5 minutes to go against Texas A&M, they were 5 points down, and of course they had a tough loss to Texas. So, you know, they're running into a buzzsaw. Colorado's one of the top 3 teams in the country.
That's right. 2nd in the dozen. Brown with a pitch, and again Allen slipped. And coming up, Donnell Leomidi to meet him.
The frustration from the Oklahoma football players, I really have never seen anything like it. We saw Wisconsin get bombed out of here, but it was turnovers. This has been a complete disintegration from within, in my opinion. They just have not been able to calm down in this football game. Give Colorado's defense credit, but a lot of it has been self-inflicted by the Oklahoma football team. Jumping off sides, penalties on special teams. It's been very, very nasty.
They look like a group of boxers who never broke a sweat before they got to the ring.
Absolutely.
3rd down, 13. Brown pump fakes right, goes back to a screen pass the other way to Allen. He does what he can. He got into Colorado territory, but only to the 49, and that is, again, 4 yards now short of a first down, 4th and 4.
Well, they're going to have to go for it again. I mean, they're into the mode now. You just got to use all 4 downs the rest of the game. I think that was a great call by Watson Brown. Terrence Brown is not a great thrower, so you got to give him something that he can complete. Watson Brown, of course, head coach at Vanderbilt. No history coached the wishbone before, so he's familiar with it, although he said this is not a wishbone. This is a three-back offense.
And enough confusion that a timeout's called. We'll take a break with a big fourth down facing the Sooners when we come back, and they're staring down a 28-0 barrel.
What do these women think about the new Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut?
Wow, they love it! New Sicilian-style pizza from Pizza Hut. Basil, oregano, garlic baked right in for a pizza crust like never before for only $8.99.
A Chardonnay so consistently great has to have a great winemaker making it the traditional way, expensively. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be sold that way. Napa Red Chardonnay, a terrific wine, a smashing value.
With 132 frisky horses under its hood, the four-door Plymouth Neon is one pretty fast car. In fact, it's so fast, it just blew two of its own doors off. Say hello to the brand spanking new Plymouth Neon Sport Coupe. Performance suspension, ABS, and a cool new look.
Retirement years should be secure years. That's why Merrill Lynch has a gerontologist to help us understand the social, emotional, and financial needs these years bring. That extra insight can make a difference between seeking security and finding it. The difference is Merrill Lynch.
Colorado by 28. Coming up later in the game, we'll be selecting our Visa players of the game. Well, if Oklahoma's to have any chance, here's their play of the game. 16 yards. This is the 8th play of a 16-yard drive so far. 4th and 4. Pitch to Frazier, nothing doing. Dalton Simmons from the corner made the tackle.
Tremendous assignment defense by Colorado that time. Inside guys played the fullback, the linebackers played the quarterback, and Dalton Simmons fought off the wide receiver in the block and bought time and made the play on the running back. That's how you play defense against option football.
Right back to the Buffaloes offense it goes, courtesy of that Colorado defense, the 49-yard line. Herschel Troutman's come in at the tailback spot for Colorado. Whether we've seen the last of Rashaan Salam, I'm not sure. But this little freshman's quite a package, too. Play action, Stewart steps up, throws short to Troutman. What'd I tell you? Troutman got a great block. Herschel Troutman to the 13-yard line.
Everybody around Colorado says, mind you of Eric Bieniemy. Just a freshman, going to drop it off, fakes it to him first. Cordell Stewart wants to go long, but then he drops him off from the left side of your screen. Troutman comes in. You're going to see Michael Westbrook just clean up on the safety that time. Malin Wesley and the little guy takes it around the corner. And, you know, bad news for people who play Colorado. There's 3 other freshman running backs that are going to be in here, too.
39 yards on that one, career long for Herschel. Got it down to the 12. Here he comes on the ground. And he bangs his way close to the 8. Arthur Atkins, one of the guys in on the stop defensively for the Sooners. Troutman, they talked to him about the fact that there is a physical size resemblance, and really they look he looks like Eric Bieniemy right down to the haircut. And he said, well, you know, I haven't seen Eric that much without his helmet on, so I don't know that much about him. There's a good look at Herschel Troutman out of Naples, Florida, one of only 11 backs in Florida history to have gone over 5,000 career yards in high school.
Yeah, Elliot Uselak says the guy just keeps making plays in practice. I got to play him.
Cordell Stewart flips it out of the backfield at Troutman. And Herschel takes it.
This was the
5.
I'm sorry, Brad. This was the screen pass that really hurt Wisconsin when we were here earlier. A little bit of a flare pass. The tackle and the lineman go downfield. You'll see Derek West right here. He's going to release number 72 to the outside. It's a little bait play. It's a long handoff to the running back, and it's a play when you catch a blitz is very successful. Uh-oh, here comes number Leon Merritt.
He's the lead man if they're going to line up in an eye.
Yeah, if I was the linebacker right now, I'd be making sure I got all 4 of my snaps buckled on my helmet.
There's Merritt lining up in front of Troutman. 3rd down and 2. Westbrook in motion. Troutman behind his blockers. Touchdown, Colorado.
Well, Troutman's a true freshman, and Leon Merritt, number 9, is a true freshman. Follow number 9. He might be able to get in the end zone. Leon, fight somebody. Well, by the time he blocked anybody, Leon Merritt was already in the end zone, so it wasn't too tough. Let's give credit to a lot of the offensive linemen on that play.
Herschel even put his hand out and found Merritt's butt on the way into the end zone.
Nobody could.
Time left in the 3rd, 35-0 Buffalo.
Hey, it's 6 a.m. Don't get some slow paper. Get the Post and that guaranteed 6 a.m. delivery for just 99 cents a week. You get Denver and the West with all the local news from the Southeast to the Northwest and all points in between. You get the only full-size daily business section to help make the most of your money. You get the official newspaper of the Fan. Yay. And all the entertainment news you need to never look this bored again. So call 832-3232 and get a year of the Post for just 99 cents a week. Yep, for a better paper with better delivery, better get the Post.
Saying it doesn't matter what doctor you see, it's like saying it doesn't matter what club you use. It matters.
To have a choice of doctors, choose HMO Colorado.
I don't care if it's an HMO, PPO, or UFO, as long as I can see my doctor.
To have a choice of doctors, choose HMO Colorado. The only HMO from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Colorado.
Good choice.
Name the painter known for his moody nocturnals of London.
Garo Yepremi. Cookie Gilchrist. Abe Gibran.
Teddy Roosevelt's foreign policy was...
The Run and Shoot. The Wishbone. Crazy Legs Hurst. The Button Hook. Norm Boulage. The Providence Steamroller.
Final question. The poetry composed by medieval knights.
Canton, Ohio. Schuler. What is John Reagan's haircut?
We have a tie?
Yeah!
They do know football. ESPN's Emmy-winning pregame show NFL Game Day tomorrow at noon.
35-0 Colorado. Easy schedule puts Nebraska number 1, says the sign. A little bit of a dig on the Cornhuskers, who played Kansas State today and survived that one, and they will move up in the charts because, as I'm sure all of you know by now, this late
I'm not
part of the
so
evening,
sure about
Florida
that.
lost.
I think Colorado could pass Nebraska.
Mills will down it. And again, the Sooners will have to work from the 20-yard line. Auburn derails Florida today. Nebraska survives Kansas State. And Penn State and Michigan had quite a classic that Penn State won by a touchdown. And now Colorado number 4. And like an old Beatles song, going up the charts with a bullet. We don't know how far the bullet will take them, though.
There you see Herschel Troutman.
Having some fun, up 35-0. Garrett McGee back in at quarterback. Lost one out for Moore. Nice catch by the fullback. Nice over-the-shoulder grab by Gerald Moore and into Colorado territory, a pickup of 34.
Same play that was intercepted right before half when he found man-to-man coverage that time and he thought it was zone. You see the running back come out to the left side of your screen. Nice touch over the defensive linebacker to the outside. And Rosga is the guy that makes the save.
He's the one that made the interception earlier.
But he was in the middle of the field zone that time. It wasn't man-to-man, so a lot different coverage.
Longest play of the night for the Sooners. McGee goes back the other way. High and incomplete, intended for Michael McDaniel. Brings up 2nd down and 10 at the Colorado 46. McGee had hit his last 5 passes before that one.
Well, there's no doubt McGee's got a good arm and he's a good passer. I just don't think that Oklahoma is programmed to throw the ball like this in a come-from-behind position. You know, when we talked to Watson Browns before the game, he just said, I just don't want to get behind in this football game. We just can't come back in the type of game when we're down 2-3 touchdowns.
You can see some frustration on the face of the offensive coordinator of the Sooners. 2nd down and 10. Final minute, 3rd quarter. McGee throws in and out of the hands. A ball that probably should have been handled by Jawan Penny.
Well, there's the problem. You know, again, you know, you're sending 2 guys out on a pass a pattern. Colorado has 4 defensive backs, and you're throwing to a guy that's double covered. Now, it's a nice throw, but you still have to make a play. You got Leometti and Dalton Simmons covering the guy on the curl.
And it leaves another 3rd and long situation. 3rd down and 10. 50 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. There's the 3rd down passing by McGee, but the big 0 over there is not picking up the 1st down. Those 4 completions don't mean much if you don't move the chains. They need 10 here. Garrick fires, incomplete. P.J. Mills had cut inside, the throw went outside. Simmons again was covering. And it's 4th down. Not getting any easier for the Sooners, and Daughtry will have to come in and kick it away. And right now, Colorado doesn't have anybody back deep in punt return formation. Trying to scramble somebody back. Rosga says, I got it, you take it.
Rosga says, I don't want to go back there and fumble it.
Elton Davis finally trots back. Hudson normally would have been their punt return man. I don't know where he was. Davis just gets out of the way, lets the punt go, and doesn't hurt Colorado that they didn't have a punt return man back there.
Yeah, they had a defensive stage. They just kept their regular defense out there.
So back comes the Colorado offense, and a new quarterback, as they think this one is in hand enough that Cordell Stewart's night is done. In comes Coy Detmer. And Coy Detmer saw a lot of action 2 years ago against this Oklahoma Sooner group. There's his numbers on the season. We saw him throw that touchdown pass.
Getting ready to watch a guy who loves playing football, Coy Detmer.
He smiles even after he gets hit. Troutman. And Herschel Troutman, 8 more yards in a hurry. Rod Henderson hit him low to knock him off his pins. Detmer was pushed into duty 2 years ago against the Sooners because of an injury to Cordell Stewart. And while he put up big numbers yardage-wise and had a couple of touchdowns, he also had 5 interceptions. He was just a freshman then.
He was just a freshman, but he's a type of guy that's got no quit in him. When he's behind, he's just going to keep firing in there. Interceptions really doesn't bother him. He's got that attitude of a passer, and he really just keeps throwing the ball downfield, no matter what the circumstances.
He's going to have to hold his first pass for the 4th quarter because we played 3 at Folsom Field. And on a home turf, the Buffaloes have control throughout. They lead 35-0.
After introducing the very friendly, very quick, and very safety-conscious 4-door Plymouth Neon, we thought you'd get a kick out of this little number. Say hello to the very new, very playful Plymouth Neon Sport Coupe. Plymouth Neon, now available in original and new faster acting.
Even with special rates, there's one expense most hotels can't eliminate. Handouts. $10 to Tony for parking the car. $5 for Wanda the waitress, and $2, but stop it, for Rudy the valet.
Thank you.
Rudy Valet. What are the odds? At Red Roof Inns, we'd rather save you all that money. Oh, and we also throw in a really clean, comfortable room.
Avoid handouts. Hit the roof. Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
Now, here's a tip that I learned from the IRS.
Sports writers. Ever wonder how they pick football's national champion? It's a highly scientific process. It's time to settle it on the field. Introducing college football's national championship by Sega Sports. 32 top college teams going head-to-head. No sports riders, just great football action. College football's national championship, only on Sega Genesis.
To keep tabs on your engine, look here. To keep tabs on your budget, look here.
You always save money at Walmart.
Save every day on Pennzoil Performax Synthetic Motor Oil. It flows in the cold and keeps cool in the heat. So it protects to the max. And that keeps things right where they should be.
And because we're always working at Walmart to save you money,
you'll find our prices are right where they should be. Always low prices, always Walmart. Every time the driving conditions change, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses those changing threats and adapts its own molecular structure to protect your engine, whatever the conditions. So, if the temperature changes, so does Quaker State. If the traffic congestion changes, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Adrian Karsten in Boulder, Colorado, where the Buffaloes lead 35-0 as we start the fourth quarter. And a second down and 2 for Coy Detmer. Off play action, wants a big one, lays it out for Westbrook's got him, and Westbrook has it. Down to the 12-yard line. As Gary said, he loves to play the game. 60-yard pass hookup.
Well, the focus of Colorado's football team will change next year. It'll be more pass-oriented around this guy right here, who is as talented as passer as probably any backup that ever played college football is right now. You see the great fake, and he has just a tremendous touch. Now, this one wasn't a real difficult throw because he beat Tim Denton by about 6 yards, but Coy Detmer just has that feel for throwing the ball that you can't teach.
To the 13-yard line, and now Troutman on a handoff. Troutman got a couple and then got pasted by Perry Collier. Let's go down to Adrian Carson, more on Coy Detmer.
Brad, that play is the same one I saw in practice on Thursday, only Coy threw it like 70 yards in the air. And Gary, you know there's a difference. Now, he'll pass it long as opposed to just throwing long. Christian Fourier, the tight end, told me he would love to have just another year to play with Coy just because he's such a tough kid.
Well, I don't think Christian knew he was going to be on national television with that shot right there, but, you know, I could throw it 70 yards, too. It just took me 2 throws.
Second down and 8. Troutman cuts back, and he's down to the 5, a couple yards short of the first down. Also, Phil McCartney talking with us about Coy Detmer, and he did throw a touchdown pass in the game against Wisconsin, and he said, you know, I can't send a kid in there and tell him not to do the things he loves to do. You can't hold back second-line players.
I picked Colorado to win the national championship this year in a preseason polls because I felt they were the only major team that had 2 quarterbacks. And, you know, Nebraska now losing Tommy Frazier. I think Colorado's a better football team than Nebraska right now without Tommy Frazier.
Well, Dean and Warfel at Florida both played today, and they lost. That's the other group you would look at that has pretty good depth. Troutman, don't think so. Might have gotten inside the 5, but Darius Johnson put a hit on him, and a flag down in the mix. And it is holding against Colorado.
This might move it back just far enough where they can throw.
35-0 now, and it's the largest lead ever against Oklahoma by a Colorado football team.
Well, and remember what Bill McCartney inherited when he came to Colorado. This is a team that had 82 points scored against them by an Oklahoma team. So what a job he's done to turn around a program, and now he's one of the elite programs in the country. And as long as he's here, they will be.
And on the other side, the record, as you saw earlier, against the teams that Sooner fans want this man to beat, the Nebraskas, the Texas, and the Colorados, not what he wants it to be, obviously. 3rd down, 11. 13-11 left in the football game. Tight end in motion. Detmer goes back, fires to the end zone, just off the fingertips of Phil Savoy. Got a hand on it, just couldn't hold it.
Beautiful read, nice throw. You like your quarterbacks to not throw behind in those type of plays, and Coy Detmer put it in a spot where just his guy could get the play. You see, he goes from his left side to the right, perfect touch, just like his brother Ty did. Puts it in a position where it's either a touchdown or nothing. Nice throw and a nice layout by Savoy.
Bostarichian out of an Anderson hold, will try one 32 yards. And he got it With 12 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the football game. Fourth-ranked Colorado set to move up in the polls, and they've moved it up to 38-0.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that will pick you up right at your door. That's enterprise. Call us. We'll arrange to come to you, take you back to our office, and you're on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Pros wear Russell Athletic because it's made tough. It has to be.
Hey, kid! Hey, you got my lucky jersey.
Yeah?
I got kind of carried away. Can I have it back?
You gotta be kidding.
Come here, you little pipsqueak. Get off my back.
No!
You want athletic wear that can survive anything? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Who was that kid? I don't know. Just sign him up.
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Reinhold Bertlev had a key role in the building of Porsche's new 911 Carrera. Did he design the engine? The radical suspension? No. Instead, Reinhold and his co-workers have perhaps the best job in the world. They test drive every new 911 on the Autobahn. If Reinhold likes your car, we're pretty sure you'll like your car.
ESPN's presentation of CFA college football is brought to you by Porsche. Imagine the thrill of having to commute day after day after day. Colorado's commuted all over the Sooners of Oklahoma, 38-0 with 12 minutes and 52 seconds left in the football game. Oscarichian set to kick. Frazier and Mills are back for the Sooners. P.J. Mills draws a beat on it from the 6-yard line. Cuts outside, got to the 20, and that is it. As we said, Colorado, without a doubt, will be moving up. And how far do they move up when they go to 6-0, Garrett?
Well, here's what if I was voting, this is what I would do. I would leapfrog Penn State to #1. Of course, they lost. And I would move Colorado to #2, and I would make Nebraska #3. I think Colorado's played a better schedule. And I think Penn State, by a little better win against Michigan than Colorado did at Michigan, deserves the #1 spot.
Well, this is the fourth top 25 team that Colorado has faced in the last 5 weeks, and they've got 2 lying ahead in the Big 8 that are huge, Kansas State and Nebraska. But tonight, number 22 Oklahoma came in here, and they have been knocked around by the Buffaloes, and they continue to do that as Frazier goes down for a loss. John Knutson made the stop. Talk about ranked teams, and you look at some of the clubs around the country that have wins against ranked teams. Colorado already with 3. That's soon to become a 4.
Yeah, let's do that right now. Let's make that a 4.
Nebraska got one today over Kansas State. Colorado State, hey, Sonny Lubbock's club's unbeaten over in Fort Collins, not too far from where we are. Penn State 2. And Auburn got their first one with a win over Florida. You talk about picking a big one to beat.
Well, and that's the Colorado argument. I mean, we played the toughest schedule, and we took them on, and we beat everybody. We deserve it.
McGee to Mills, trying to break a tackle. He does get a first down, though.
Nice job by Mills that time, waiting for the ball and making a fake just as he receives the ball to try to make a big play out of the pass.
PJ had a couple of catches for 56 yards and the only Oklahoma touchdown last year in the 27-10 loss to Colorado.
PJ goes by PJ because his first name is Percy and, and so he prefers it. Percy James. PJ sounds a little better, doesn't it?
And he runs a 4.3 too. So he's been involved a lot tonight, mostly as a kick returner. McGee tripped up. Clint Moore. Clint Moore started at nose tackle in that game we did against Wisconsin when Clavel was out with a suspension, and he just broke right through for this one.
Here's Clint Moore right here. He should be blocked. This guy out here is the option man. When the inside man is being defeated on a blocking scheme for an option, that's going to tear your option apart. The defensive end has to be accounted for by either the fullback or the guard.
Second down and 14 with the loss. McGee, little flea flicker, gets it back. And now throws to a wide-open receiver, but he threw it over to the Colorado bench instead. And Garrett got hammered and holding the shoulder.
Tell you, Brad, DeJuan Penny, number 89, was standing out on the 40-yard line. No one within 15 yards of him. He's the #1 guy. Again, Oklahoma not giving the play a chance in this football game. Too anxious. The play was set up perfectly in the middle of the field, wide open.
Eric McGee has been getting up all night. So he showed what he's made of, but the third down conversions, an awful night in that category. Gehrig loads it, got a man wide open, and he made the catch. At the 39-yard line, Jawan Penny. Well, he got open again, Garrett.
Yeah. Both would have been touchdowns. This time a busted coverage between Eric Mitchell and the free safety that time and let the receiver just run right down the field. But Penny does make a beautiful catch on a ball that was slightly overthrown. Ryan Black, the safety, holds on the tight end, Alexander, and boom, right down the middle of the field. The backups for Colorado secondary are starting to make some busts back there, and it's causing some problems.
Jawan Penny, first catch ever against Colorado, and a career-long 33-yarder laid out, made a nice grab. First down at the 39-yard line. 10:35 left in the game. Frazier to the 36. John Knutson made another tackle.
But Garrett McGee will absolutely kill himself after he sees that flea flicker play, how open Penny was on that first lateral play back. You just don't get him open, any more open than that.
Easy for us to say from level 5.
Yeah, but that's his #1 guy on that play, and you know that's who's designed to go to. You got to say you got to throw it to the guy.
Second down and 7. We're under 10 minutes in the ball game. Play action for McGee. Deep down the middle. Whoa, what a hit. Michael McDaniel might have mistimed his jump just a little bit, and then he was made a McDaniel sandwich at about the 17-yard line.
On McDaniel, Kenny Wilkins, number 20, was sitting in center field that time. If he'd have looked for the ball, he could have got a pick, but all he had eyes for was for McDaniel on this play. You're a McBurger right here, and he was coming to get it. It's ready. Here I come. Boom. Matt Russell from one side and Kenny Wilkins from the other.
Was that with or without fries?
Either way.
Third down and 7. McGee lays it out long for Mills. Almost intercepted by Eric Mitchell. And now we've got a lineman down. I think it's J.R. Conrad, the right tackle for OU. Big junior, 311-pounder. Absolutely nothing worse in a game than being shut out 38-0 and having one of your starters in that position. We'll take a timeout with the injury with 9 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the ball game, and it's Colorado 38, Oklahoma nothing.
As we developed the new Porsche 911 Carrera, our German test center was buzzing with new thinking. A radical new suspension. A more powerful engine. The suggestions came from far and wide. Of course, the new 911 is still available in red, black, and white, but what fun would that be?
About 65 miles south of the nearest stoplight, and 2 miles up in the Rocky Mountain sky, you'll find skiers' heaven, also known as Telluride Ski Mountain, where the skiing's perfect and the views are even better. And whether you're going to extremes or just going for a lesson, don't go without your Visa card, because at Telluride Ski Mountain, they'll let you take the plunge, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
As soon as a State Farm customer calls with a claim, I'm right on the phone to our claims center.
We work as partners. Nancy gives me the information, then I contact our customer.
We've settled hundreds of claims together. John's attitude is...
You got to be quick, and you've got to be fair.
Quick and fair.
At State Farm, teamwork is what it's all about.
We make a great team.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The good news for Oklahoma, 9:37, all that's left, I guess. Sooners trying to hang in there and scrap, but they're trailing the 4th-ranked team in the country by 38 points, and they have a 4th down and 7. McGee steps up, had it tipped at the line, incomplete.
Mike Phillips, I believe, is the guy who got his hand on it.
Everybody in the act. Offense and defense and special teams. Just a couple of miscues as far as turnovers by Colorado, or this thing would be looking worse. Check in with Mr. Karsten.
Brad, a lot of the physical dominance we have seen on Colorado's part, a lot of that credit has to go to E.J. Doc Priest. He is actually a doctor, really has his Ph.D., really the only strength and conditioning coach in the country who has such a degree. Now, his approach to the Buffaloes is running 12 races, if you can believe that. Not 12 games, 12 races. What he wants to do is have them peak physically, actually on a certain hour on game day, or in this case, game night. The idea of just maintaining strength in the weight room is gone. He wants new personal bests every week. He's also Bill McCartney's bodyguard. He comes past me about 5 minutes and says, back up, back up.
That's the second big Buffalo you got next to tonight. 2nd down and 4 as Detmer on a broken play picked up 6. Close to a 1st down is going to be Lendon Henry.
Lendon Henry is another true freshman that Colorado people are very excited about, and is really coming on.
He had not gone through what they call the NCAA clearinghouse the last time we were here, so he didn't play against Wisconsin because his transcripts from high school had not all been cleared through for him to take part in that game.
From Port Arthur, Texas. Goes about 195 pounds.
3rd down, a yard. Here he comes again. He got the 1st down. Out to the 48. Roderick Simpson is the one that hit him low to make the first contact. We're down to 8 minutes and 17 seconds in the ball game. Gary, we were talking about during one of the breaks, Colorado's done this, meaning 6 wins for the most part on the road.
Yeah, that's what's the amazing thing. You know, all these stats that Colorado's put up, they've played the base of their schedule so far on the road, and this is just their 3rd home game right here, and they're going to put on more stats.
They said it was nice last night to have their normal Friday night movie, but to actually go to a theater instead of a conference room at a hotel on the road. Penalty markers in the backfield as Detmer throws incomplete.
Yeah, Chris Anderson slipped and fell on the comeback that time in a timing route. You see the signal for holding.
That'll back it up, make it 1st down and 20. But the schedule that we talked about, it doesn't end tonight as far as ranked teams for Bill McCartney and the Buffaloes, because next up they've got another Big 8 matchup with Kansas State.
And then, of course, in 2 weeks, Nebraska.
Walk it back to the 32-yard line. Here's their remaining schedule. Of course, it'll be 6-0 when this one's over. Then Kansas State at 2nd-ranked Nebraska. Oklahoma State at Kansas is no easy one either. Then Iowa State to cap it off. If you win through that schedule, you should be somebody's number 1. 1st and 26. And Henry wrapped up as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage. Fred Lewis, the nose man.
Well, the Sooner defense, I think, is, you know, played about what I thought they'd play like. They've just got no help from their offense, and you just keep giving back that ball to Colorado. You know, you give up 38 points, but when you consider that your offense hasn't done a thing in this football game, you know, if a normal offense, you know, keeps the game much, much closer for 38 points. Oklahoma's total yards in this game, 188 yards. And I'll bet half of that's been on the 2nd unit for Colorado's defense.
Detmer trying to throw over the middle, had it tipped inside. Might have been Fred Lewis again. The nose man who got in the way of that aerial. Story of this one, though, is Colorado, when they got it, they did something with it. Like 4 consecutive touchdowns on 4 straight possessions. And it was Rashaan Salam, 7 yards, 7 yards, 7 yards, and then a 9-yarder just to break the monotony.
Yeah, and there it is right there, though. Oklahoma right there. Unforced errors, I believe, in this football game has really been tough for Oklahoma.
Third and 25. Colorado. And motion might have been the right side of the Colorado line. Melvin Thomas maybe coming out of his stance a little bit too quick.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat third down.
Might as well make it 3rd and 30 while you're at it.
No, we've been here 2 games, 55 points against Wisconsin, 38 points here against Oklahoma. I expect Bill will be sending us airplane tickets to every remaining home game.
I'm not coming back.
No.
3rd and 30. Play action. Detmer loads it and lays it out for Kidd. And it's intercepted. Wesley picks that one off for the Sooners. Malin Wesley, the junior out of Houston.
Well, Cordell would have liked, Coy would have liked to have thrown that another 10 or 15 yards because Kidd had to stop for the ball, but just as good as a punt in this situation.
And 6:44, all that remains.
Isn't it amazing how the price of car repairs has skyrocketed? A large percent is for new parts. But there is a recycled parts alternative. Stadium Auto Parts. Stadium has more than 50,000 domestic and foreign parts in stock, all guaranteed. Most importantly, by recycling quality auto parts, Stadium saves you 50% or more. Before you buy an expensive new part, call Stadium first. Recycling makes sense, saving money makes sense. Stadium makes sense.
Bruno was excited when he heard the Vail Valley had 42 calves. It was somewhat disappointed to learn they weigh 8 tons each. Hey, ski animals, for the best deal around, get your paws on the new Vail Valley Colorado card. You'll get our guaranteed lowest lift ticket prices, plus every 7th day of skiing is free at Vail, Beaver Creek Resort, and Arrowhead Mountain. The Vail Valley, there's no comparison.
The award-winning ESPN series Outside the Lines presents A League Second to None, an in-depth look at the heritage, heartbreak, and heroes of the American Negro Leagues. Discover the best baseball players you've never heard of, unknown legends who played a sensational style of baseball for over half a century before a man named Robinson stepped to the plate. Outside the Lines, Tuesday at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Well, Adrian Karsten has his run with Ralphie 3. Gary and I have our way to get ready for football games. We were out there up near Netherland, our favorite city, up the road a piece, a little mountain climbing. Gary obviously bringing up the rear end a little bit. you lost your breath there, man.
Yeah, well, it was a lot of fun. Played, and I saw the sights,
The sights. 6:44 left in this one. McGee laying it out long, and it's intercepted right back by Colorado. And it's Kenny Wilkins bringing it the other way for the Buffaloes. Garrick, there'll be better days or nights. This is not one of them.
Kenny Wilkins just playing basically center field, throwing it to Penny again, number 89. There you see him, was on the left side of your screen, just standing there. Wasn't even in the middle of the field. Just a terribly poor read by McGee that time, trying to force something into nothing. And that's really been the story of this football game. Oklahoma trying to make a play on every play when they really don't have it available to them.
So the Colorado offense, having given it up a moment ago, gets it right back with Coy Detmer at the controls at the 35-yard line of the Sooners. And here's a couple-yard pickup down near the 32. Mario Freeman made the tackle on Lyndon Henry.
Yeah, Lyndon Henry and Troutman. We've seen all those guys throughout the game. Hey,
good to see you still got your cap, your trusty cap.
I'd like to thank the people at Mountain Sports for this. And
by the way, there's your chocolate almond surprise from Bob's Bakery in Netherland yesterday.
It was great. Didn't we have a great time?
We had a super time. thank the folks up there for helping us with our
This is going to be my new golf cap when things get nice out here.
You got to get the light, though, for a little night play there out on your country club course. Second down. And 6. And the pitch. Henry hit by Tim Denton on the corner. Got a first down. Colorado obviously doesn't need any more points.
Coy Detmer is a pistol.
He is.
I could shorten that word, but he's a pistol. He pitches on this play. Now, most quarterbacks, including myself, after you pitch the ball, says, all right, I did my job. Not Coy. He comes back down the field and throws a block to the left side of your screen right there. Boom. What a guy who just loves putting on the helmet and shoulder pads.
Brother Ty won the Heisman at BYU. And Coy will be the man next year here in Boulder. Marlon Barnes, who just checked in, lost his footing.
All right, Marlon Barnes is a third true freshman running back that they're excited about. Wow.
He's out of Memphis, 5'10", 195.
Well, this cheesecake puff is good, though.
Bob's Bakery. We'll be back there sometime.
Kind of making a mess.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, I'll keep Jackson and Greasy will come. I'm going to leave this for Greasy when he comes in here one of these days.
Second down, 11. Barnes this time gets a little bit of room. Goes down to the 16-yard line. Wendell Davis made the stop. Well, Speed World at 7:50 Eastern tomorrow morning. Formula One Grand Prix of Europe. Round 14 of the World Championship comes your way from Jerez, Spain. Michael Schumacher returns from his 2-race suspension with just a single-point lead over Damon Hill. And Nigel Mansell returns to F1 circuit after finishing out his IndyCar career. Grand Prix of Europe early tomorrow morning on ESPN. Get up, grab your coffee and donuts, and join us for a little racing tomorrow morning on ESPN. Here's Detmer on the toss. And breaking away as Henry stepped out of bounds where he would have had a touchdown. Boy, tough run. Just had his foot hit the chalk line on the sideline as he was making his way to the end zone.
Well, see, you're seeing Coy Detmer what he's going to have to do if you run this offense 1 back and 2 tight end. The quarterback is still going to have to run the option. Detmer's going to be a little different version. He's looking to pitch it. This time Sterling takes him and another freshman back. No, I already talked about him. There's 3 of them. I'm starting to get confused right here. And he stepped out with his left foot that time as Arthur Atkins is the guy who came out and pushed him out.
Got it to first and goal, though.
Uh-oh, number 9's in. Number 9, radar.
Follow number 9, Lendon, if you get the ball.
Radar.
Oh, they're going to give it to him. He almost scored. Lost the ball, but he got down to the 1-foot line.
Well, Leon Merritt from Detroit is a special football player. He'll probably be a tight end or an H-back in the future of this offense, but he is a prototype fullback. Problem is, Colorado doesn't use a fullback in their offense, so he's going to have to find another position. You block well, you get a gift. Say, here's the ball. That ball was close to being out before he came down, but kind of no factor.
Leon goes out. Henry now the tail. Down close, gets the call for the touchdown.
I think Colorado's going to move up at least to number 2 in the polls. You have to give them credit for their schedule and the way they're playing football this year.
I agree. Total domination tonight at home against the Sooners.
I mean, this is a Sooner team that played Syracuse, having a pretty good year, pretty tough in Syracuse. Took Texas into a
yard short.
A yard short on Texas. I mean, this is not a bad Oklahoma football team.
Oscar Itchian's legs got to be getting tired.
I wouldn't want to send this film on my resume, but just
45-0 Colorado.
You ever get the feeling if you're Gary Gibbs right now, the only people that are watching are the guys that don't like you anyway?
Oh. Isn't that the truth? Coming up next week, we'll take our act back to the Big Ten. Joey Galloway and company, and Eddie George, who had a 200-plus yard. what we told you earlier is not all he does. 179 yards. Didn't hurt that really tonight with 160 plus. #1 in the country. 4 more touchdowns tonight. Here's his numbers.
Yeah.
161 and 4.
A nice big slice tonight, wasn't it? You know, it's a guy tonight who could have picked up 250 yards if they'd have kept him in the whole game.
He played very little in the second half. Look out, Knutson from the backside.
An absolute complete breakdown. A meltdown for the Oklahoma Sooners. They are not doing anything right in this football game.
Knutson got his 2nd sack of the night. He's in there having been a starter 4 games last year and had elbow surgery and operations on both his feet. I tell you what, I think it worked because he's covering some ground from his linebacker spot. McGee in trouble again, trying to throw a screen and got it to James Allen. And Allen slithers out to the 20, where it's still going to be 3rd down and 10. Knutson made the tackle. In a night when Oklahoma's wires have been crossed.
Yeah, it's just, you got to try to call your plays and.
McGee's still in there, trying his best.
They still are confused.
With the tight end lined up, Jason Harmon where he is supposed to be. McGee waits and fires sideline. Nice throw. Got it out to McDaniel for a 1st down. Excuse me, Jawan Penny for the 1st down.
I'll tell you, nice throw by McGee. You said it right. He had a guy right in his face that time. I think it was Mike Phillips, number 97, and McGee stepped into the throw and got the ball to Penny.
Last time shut out 11 years ago against Missouri. Terrence Brown comes in. The backup quarterback is a 4th wide receiver. And a big O up there on the board that the Sooners would love to change. Completion. McGee gets it out. And he got it to Terrence Brown. Quarterback to quarterback. Terrence Brown, they say they think is the only player in OU history to ever have completed a pass and caught a pass in that uniform. And he catches one tonight. Got it in the hip when he caught it as he went out of bounds. But Lucius Selman saying to Gary Gibbs, it wasn't like this when my brothers and you played.
That's because there's no Selmans out there, that's why.
Nice block by Allen on Knutson. McGee's still running for his life, and he tosses one into row 3 or 2, but it is a completion over there to a Colorado fan. The security guard immediately says, you got to give the ball back.
Give the ball back. Well, you got to wonder if Gary Gibbs can get this Oklahoma team back up the rest of the football season. This is a humiliating defeat for a team that wanted to come here and show that they could come in and play with the big guys. They're not ready for Colorado.
And McGee completes it for a 1st down. Out to Michael McDaniel out near midfield. Derek McGee still slinging it. He's a kid that grew up in Tulsa, and he knows all about what you're supposed to do when you're wearing these colors for Oklahoma.
I think this team should win simply because we're at OU. You know, this is big tradition. You know, when we come out with that crimson and cream, you know, we're supposed to win, and that's how it is. I've grown up in Oklahoma, and that's how I look at it. So even when we're behind in games, you know, I'm saying to myself, we're going to win because we're OU. We're supposed to win.
Not going to win tonight, but that is the mindset when you saw those great Oklahoma teams of past years.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, Brad, and the Oklahoma alumni are going to have to realize this, just like the Ohio State alumni, the Southern California alumni, the game has changed. You know, the big schools are not dominating all the athletes anymore, and it's an even game. A lot more teams are involved with competitive football teams. It's never going to be like it was at Oklahoma.
Scholarship limits have had a lot to do with that. McGee in trouble again. Throws complete to his tight end. Jason Harmon made the catch. A little bit short of a 1st down, I believe. And the clock winding near the 1-minute mark.
I'll tell you, the Colorado bench, they're all in it. They want a shutout. They got 75 guys over there trying to cheer on their second-team defense.
Nobody sitting down. McGee flushed, throws, got a man wide open. It's a tight end again. Jason Harmon. And Harmon got it down to the 6-yard line. First and goal.
Nice job by McGee. He switched the ball that time from his right hand. What takes preference over cheering on your teammates is getting on TV. You know, that's number one, especially if you're not a guy that doesn't play a lot.
As you said, though, they are all up looking down at that Colorado defense, hoping that their teammates can pitch a shutout. Oklahoma trying to get on the board. McGee leveled as he threw. Incomplete. Phillips came flying in there. So did Merkerson. And that's the kind of night it's been for Garrick McGee, getting up slow type of nights. Tonight's Visa Players of the Game from Oklahoma, Tyrell Peters. All around the football again, their leading tackler coming in. And from Colorado, I guess we could have given this one out by halftime. Rashaan Salam, 161 and 4 touchdowns. Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund on behalf of those two young men. Second and goal at the 5, 44 seconds left. The outcome obviously not in doubt. The shutout is McGee throws to the end zone. Incomplete. Third and goal.
McGee made a pretty good throw on that play, and I think was it Mills that laid out for that one. Just about here, too wide.
Still trying to lead the troops to the end zone. With 38 seconds left, down to 2 plays to do it. Third and goal at the 5. They'll go with a run, and Allen's going to be dropped for a loss, and it's Merkerson again. Flag down near the sideline.
I don't know unless it was, unnecessary roughness, not stopping when the whistle was called. Let's go, guys. 45-0. Make a decision.
They're going to the flag.
That's the good one.
You cannot have a personal foul on your own guy. You clip your own guy, doesn't count.
There's one of them that came down from the stands. We've seen a few more.
Man, somebody took a bite out of that one and then threw it down.
Just like pulling the pin out of a grenade. And is Oklahoma going to take a timeout? Yep. Talk about that kind of night. 27 seconds left, 4th and goal. Trying to avoid a shutout. And they'll talk about it. We've got more college football. Don't forget tomorrow, special edition of college football in the Southwest Conference. Texas coming off their win over Oklahoma last week at the Cotton Bowl, taking on the Rice Owls. But 7 players suspended from that game by Coach Makovic, and that will not make it any easier by any stretch of the imagination. That's tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern, special Sunday night edition of CFA College Football here on ESPN.
You gotta love the camaraderie. You have to love the camaraderie of Colorado's football team right now. You got all the starters in the huddle over there telling the backup guys, don't let them score, don't let them score, going over the assignments. Michael Westbrook. You got the punter flexing muscles, you know?
Only one question remains for the Colorado team. Can they pitch the shutout? Blitz on McGee, and he scored on the last chance. Touchdown, Oklahoma to P.J. Mills. Well, good for Garrick McGee.
Absolutely. Guys hung in there, pitched and caught it. Well, there's disappointment on the Colorado. They got to get used to a little disappointment, eh? Nice catch by P.J. Mills on that one. The ball was slightly low, but he slid through it. And that's for McGee. You get a lot of your teammates on your side for the rest of this football season and for next year, too. when you hang in there and play football when you're getting killed like this game.
218 yards, a career-high 4 interceptions, but the touchdown finally comes with 23 seconds left. Gary, you said it all earlier. He was shaking up, holding his shoulder, and you said, you don't come out of a game when you're behind. You suck it up and try to get the respect of your teammates. This kid just did, if he didn't already have it.
Yeah, I think he did in this football game, and that's something to build on. He beat Eric Mitchell on the slant pass starting from the right side. There's the Colorado bench. Oh, no, he wanted to shut out. It's going to be in the stats, 45-7.
23 seconds left in this one. That's defensive coordinator Mike Hanklitz right in the middle there. Knows his, for the most part, second-line troops did the best they could to keep OU out of the end zone. Player of the night. And on his way to an All-American season, Rashaan Salaam.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I asked him about, at the end of this year, you're going to have to make a decision, or what will be your decision process about going pro? And he goes, oh, there is no way. He said, I want to graduate with my guys. I want to be a senior, a leader on this football team.
I want to be a captain.
I want to be a captain of Colorado. I got some things left to do. And boy, as genuine as, and did not even hesitate.
Nope. He looked totally shocked that you would mention pro football. And his final comment was, I want to be a captain. And that last practice before the last game of the season, when the seniors come out and everybody else stands up and claps, I want to be in the middle of that senior group. That's one of the greatest answers I've heard.
It really was. It was.
Onside kick probably coming to the near side, and Oklahoma may cover it. I think they did. Bounced off, I think, Anderson trying to make the play on it for Colorado. And the Sooners recover in the person of Chris Dawson, the linebacker. And Garrick McGee can come back out for another play or 2 or 3. Eric's trying to think, is this going to have to face another blitz, maybe?
Right. Yeah, well.
McGee, near sideline, not enough real estate for Albert Hall. It goes up to make the catch out of bounds. And we're down to 15 seconds.
Well, the fans are getting their money's worth.
Ones that have remained. They did for a long time. They waited to see if there was going to be a shutout, and then the packed house of Folsom Field began to empty. And as you can see, a lot of hearty souls still out here on a crisp night. But they were warmed by this team, that's for sure. 45-7. McGee throws to Allen. Allen slipped and found his footing and then got peppered out of bounds in front of his Sooner coaches. Merkerson again in on the stop. Time for about one more.
Well, I don't think the Colorado offense, headed up by Elliot Uzelak, is going to be stopped this year in college football.
There's 2 of the reasons right there.
Too many weapons. They may stop themselves. They may have one of those days where they stop themselves, but I don't think there's a defense out there that's going to stop them, shut them down.
You saw Salaam 19 and Westbrook 81. Those are 2 of the 3 very dangerous weapons. They've got more than that, but when you throw Cordell Stewart between those 2 guys, it's something special. Long ball laid out, tipped and broken up, and the game is over. The Sooners did score, but it came much later than it did sooner. And a perfect 6-0 now for Bill McCartney. We'll find out how far his troops will move up in the final polls. Stay tuned for Sports Center next. Steve Levy and Craig Kilborn get you caught up on the day in sports. We'll look at the big games, the SEC and the Big Ten. Anthony Penny, I guess, got a couple more pennies in NBA scores and highlights. That's all coming your way shortly. That's going to wrap it up from Folsom Field. For Gary Danielson, Adrian Carson, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Brad Nessler saying so long from Boulder, Colorado. Expect Salaam. Well, they got a lot of them. 4 touchdowns in a 45.